like 2 months, 3 months.
Hello.
This is nice. It's just changed it back to default. There we go. Happy days. Lovely. So everybody else could be heard, but just not me. Welcome to the Midweek Mix-Up podcast. I'm WandrinDutch, your host, and of course returning this week with a fine panel as usual. We will cover over a few bits of the news over the last couple of weeks and a few early kind of, shall we say, reviews of some games from a couple of the panel and some previews, some preview thoughts. But first of all, we will get into it. Introductions. First of all, sodium chloride. How are you doing today?
I'm alright. Sorry, I'm eating.
With or without the sodium chloride?
A little bit as well. It's pink sodium chloride, to be fair, on my chips. Hang on, let me take a swig.
How are you doing? You good?
Very good. No, I'm alright. Busy. I've had a busy week. I did 8 days on the trot and then spent 2 days out tidying my house because he had the people coming round for inspection that they have to do every year, which is a pain in the ass. So I don't feel like I've actually had a day off. But other than that, gaming-wise, I've played a bit of that new Halo mode today. What is it called?
Entrenched is the event, and the mode is... I can't remember the mode.
It's a good mode. I enjoyed it.
Grab, that's the one. Land grab is the mode.
That's it, yeah. Problem with it, with any game, whether it be Call of Duty, Battlefield, whatever, when you have to rely on your team to actually play the objective, it never happens. That's probably the most infuriating thing. But I like it better than last Spartan Standing.
Right.
So it's a good mode. I maxed out, I can never say it, Eden Chronicles?
Yes, Eden Chronicles.
Eden Chronicles, yeah, whatever. Got me 1,000 points on that, which really fun game. I thought getting the 1,000 points dragged on a little bit.
Right.
A lot of go to the forest, go get this thing, come back, give it to this person who then wants you to go to the quarry to get something else and go back. But overall, enjoyed it. It felt a little bit like a 2D scrolling Secret of Mana.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that because I've completed it, that I might get some little bonus thing when the other game drops next year.
Yeah, that would be good. That'd be nice if they do that. Definitely. I was see at the beginning of the game, I was thinking exactly the same thing as you. Some of the parts feel like you're just going back and forwards, collecting things and giving them to people. What did you make of the combat overall? And kind of, I know you I think you unlocked 2 other characters. Is it just the 2, or do you get more?
Yeah, it's the kangaroo and the mage.
And what did you make of them?
They're all right. Fairly simplistic. You got the kangaroo guy who's the melee beast kind of guy, and then you got your magic thing. I think in the other game you're going to get that little girl if you got that far.
Yeah.
But
Spoilers.
oh no, the little girl. But yeah, I think it's a good prelude to the game.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the combat. The story was it was all right. I think it's only supposed to be a short game anyway.
Yeah.
To actually go and complete it, it's relatively short. If you want to do all the quests and stuff, I think I put like 30 hours into it.
Oh God. Right. Okay.
So considering it's like a £12 or £13 game,
that's quite a lot then.
It's quite a big chunk I put into it. But yeah, overall enjoyed it. It's been a while since I've gotten into a game like that.
Yeah,
it's been a while since I've been able to play a game like that because they've not really been Xbox friendly, those games. I'd love Secret of Mana to come to
you and Miles both. He's wishing that one into existence.
Even I'd like that one, and I'm not a big fan of those games, but Secret of Mana was great back in the day.
Secret of Mana was an amazing game. I loved it. I've got it on my PlayStation 4, and a bit gutted that it didn't have multiplayer in it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you would have thought is a given, because you can play. I think you play couch co-op, but just having normal. Played it for 1 day, 14 hours.
Ooh.
What, in 1 day straight?
Well, no, 1 day and 14 hours. That's.
Oh, I thought you played it 1 day for 14 hours in a day. I thought, wow.
So yeah, 38 hours then so far. That's quite a chunk.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm guessing the other one's going to be more turn-based.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, JRPG style. Yeah. Which is awesome.
But again, it's...
Go on.
I love the Sudoku games. They were amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree on that. Good games, and potentially, hopefully, they'll bring them back at some point. You never know. You never know. If they're going to come anyway, it's going to be PlayStation. Yeah. You're probably right there. Probably right indeed. Before we move on to General C, a quick shout out to The Robots Win, who's a new channel member. Thank you. Welcome to the channel. Enjoy your emojis and your new logo. And occasionally some early access content. Jen, how you been, brother?
Hello.
What you been up to? I know you've been playing a game that's currently in alpha as well. What you been playing?
Yep. Doing my usual streaming throughout the week. I managed to get a code for Multiverses, the Warner Brothers fighting game that sort of links all those characters together.
Okay.
You got Scooby-Doo characters in there with Shaggy. Got Arya Stark from Game of Thrones. Batman and Superman are in it. Jake and Finn from Adventure Time. A few other characters, and I'm assuming there's going to be a lot more characters when the full game comes out. But I'm really enjoying that. It's actually a blast. Pretty hectic when you get into a free-for-all game and there's 4 people just smashing the ever-living crap out of each other.
Yeah.
It's like, it's proper intense, like adrenaline-filled combat. It's a bit like, from what I've seen, Smash Bros. I've never played a Smash Bros. Game, but from gameplay I've seen that it's very much like that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a blast. I think we're going to talk more about it on the Sunday show. I'll go into a bit more detail there.
Yeah, when you've had a bit more time.
Got some gameplay for that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Managed to play a bit of that with Stu today as well. We played team matches. We got our arse handed to us quite a bit.
Yeah.
we did win a couple of times as well. Stu was playing as Taz and button smashing. So yeah, we did win a couple.
Would anybody be interested in a code for that? Because I have a code for that multiverse thing. If anybody's
I was going to say Stu tried to give me a code, but for some reason Warner Brothers said I was not allowed to create an account. Amazing. Thanks, Warner Brothers. So yeah,
I'll if you're interested, then I'll send you it.
Awesome stuff. Anybody interested in the code? Shout out to Xbox Mick, and he'll drop you a code.
Well, I've only got one, I think, so I can only do one. So it's either you or the chat. Make a decision.
Chat. We'll give it to the chat.
Okay.
Warner Brothers.
Give it to the chat. I'll drop it. I'll drop it in when Jen starts talking about it later. Then.
Awesome stuff. Next up.
Yeah, so
go on.
There's a few other games I was playing as well. Obviously, mainly my Hunt Showdown.
Yes.
The Half-Life 1 remake. Just playing those really. That's what I've been doing.
Yes, and a bit of Halo, a bit of Sea of Thieves.
A bit of Halo, a bit of Sea of Thieves, and obviously Evil Dead, which I'm still addicted to.
That's good. I keep seeing you and who was it?
Berserker this.
Yes. Driving each other
we
off
got a back and forth going.
Yeah.
I started it though because he was driving and he kept crashing, and then it was my turn to drive and I was crashing. So we've been doing a bit of a back and forth. It's pretty funny.
Awesome stuff. Next up, Xbox Mick. How are you doing today, brother? What you been up to?
Good, man. Yeah, I have been working as always, but I am currently downloading the Maverick Top Gun DLC that you told me about before.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to getting on that after we've finished, and I'm giving that a quick go. And I've pretty much just been trying to solve this mystery on Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I've been
So at the
seeing
moment
that.
there is a mystery going on, and there's been a new development today, and it's been some new stuff added to it. And I've been out there and had a look round. It's quite interesting to see the way they're doing this, and they've made it to a difficulty where people like Falcor and them aren't able to just instantly
get,
instantly get it, and the rest of us just go, oh well, no point in us watching them, no point in us doing it. It's already been solved,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really good, and I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to seeing more of this mystery and future mysteries now as well, because I was a bit wondering what they would be and stuff when we didn't know.
Yeah.
But now it's got me. It's hooked me. I've been checking social media. I've been checking all their accounts. I've been going out to places on the game, searching for things. It's great. So yeah, it's good fun.
Awesome stuff. And that is the new adventure. Does that release tomorrow, or is it?
The new adventure is tomorrow, but this is the mystery. So two different things.
Coincide with the adventure, or is it separate entirely?
I don't think so. I think there are elements towards it, yes, but they're not. I don't think you have to do one to get the other. This is a thing really just for the fans that really enjoy the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it won't make too much difference.
Yes.
But yeah, it's good to do, and yeah, it's interesting to see what's happening. So we're all trying to figure out who killed DeMarco. As we now know, it was DeMarco that died.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that'll be interesting. Very interesting. I am looking forward to playing more adventures. It's a shame, of course, yesterday we didn't manage to get Glitterbeard done due to a bug.
that was a sad one. I've had some feedback from the Rare team that they're now looking into that. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Should be able to get it done at some point.
Yep.
Sweet. Next up, Boxenberger. Welcome back, brother. How are you today? What you been up to?
What's up? I am a little pissed at the moment. Not just on my PC, because I had some disgusting technical issues with my PC right now, but I also had a big fight with my boss today, so I'm all fired up, and I actually need some relaxing gaming talk, and I can't wait to discuss everything with you gentlemen. So looking forward to the show today. And yeah, actually, I've been playing quite a lot. I've actually finished a few games. I finished Metroid Dread on the Nintendo Switch.
Nice.
End of last week.
Before you move on, now you've finished it, where does it rank in your Metroidvanias?
I would put it on place 3.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the list?
Followed by Ori Will of the Wisps on place 2, and number 1 is still Hollow Knight.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an awesome list of Metroidvanias, though. So, what got it number 3 and why did it not overtake the others?
Probably the length is one thing. I found it a little bit too short, to be honest. I beat the game in like 10.5 hours or so.
Right.
And I took my time with it. So
right. Okay.
I think the length is definitely something they could have done something more with that. And the second is actually the super frustrating final boss fight. That was just infuriating, that boss fight. But I finally beat the guy, and so it's still one of the best Switch games, honestly. Absolutely a recommendation from my side. I also finished Dawn of Ragnarok, the Assassin's Creed Valhalla add-on. Loved it. If you enjoyed the main game, I highly recommend to check this one out. It is basically a complete new story in that
Asgard.
dream sequence,
Yeah.
Asgard dream sequence thing. Really fun game. Of course, if you don't like the main game, you won't like this one either. But for those who enjoyed Valhalla, I definitely recommend to check it out. I think it's still on sale. At least it was last week, so I highly recommend that. And then I actually downloaded the OG Fable and booted that up again. Yeah,
Nice.
all that hype for the Xbox showcase and what the speculations out there. Will we see Fable? I got that Fable itch again, and then I thought about everyone was talking about the Gears of War remaster collection, and I was like, nah, I don't want a Gears collection. I want a Fable collection, and then
Yes.
I downloaded it. I never played the anniversary edition that was released on the 360, so I booted up that version, and it holds up beautifully. Really,
I think it's one of the games I think they gave when backwards compatibility first came out on the Xbox One. It was one of the games that got a 4K 60 or 2K 60 update, whatever it was.
It wasn't really a resolution bump, but
yeah.
At that time, it was like it got the 16-time anisotropic filtering. Now, of course, it has auto HDR. Now it has the auto FPS boost, and it runs at 60 FPS. The colors pop now in HDR. It's fantastic. It actually still is fun to enjoy. Of course, some of the mechanics are a little dated, but hey, guys, we are talking here about an 18-year-old game.
Yeah.
The OG Fable is 18 years old, and it still is super fun to play. The story is still top-notch. I'm actually enjoying that again. And then just today, I started with Weird West. I'm super early in, only played like 1.5 hours or so, but that is an interesting game.
It's definitely interesting. Yeah.
It's brutally difficult. Honestly,
Yes.
I was surprised. Like in the first main mission after the tutorial, I was already like, oh shit, that is kicking my balls. But it is. It's a good game. So yeah, that was my gaming schedule. So quite busy.
Awesome stuff. Before I jump into anything, I'll give a shout out to those in chat, of course. Crazy Louis Gaming, welcome, sir. Silent Cypher, hello, sir. Paulie FC, hello. Muppet, hello. Doom Reaper, hello. We probably have a few more in here as well that I cannot see. Floating around the chat, Studios, of course. Hello, I know you're kind of sitting at a child's birthday party, unfortunately, but I wish all the best to you, sir, and I hope you enjoy it. Keeping you occupied whilst the kids play. Silent Cypher, hello there, sir. Everybody else, Muppet, Phanto, sir. John Wolf. Shady, hello, sir. Bailey Making a Rant, hello. UK Dazarus, of course. And anybody else who I haven't already shouted out, welcome. Don't be scared to talk in chat and have some fun with a group in the community. They don't bite. They're okay. They're a good bunch.
Yes, they are. It's a fantastic community, a very welcoming community. I can totally understand that some people might listen, but are afraid to talk because they don't know the people. They don't know if their opinions will be accepted. But this is a super welcoming community you got here, Dutch, and highly recommend everyone to say hi in chat. It is a fantastic community.
Definitely. And of course, if you've got something to say or you want to chime in on the conversation, occasionally we'll try and pick a few out of the chat here and talk about them as well. So feel free. Get involved.
Can I quickly just chime in myself?
Yes. Of course.
Borderlands 3, if you've got Epic Games Store, is currently free until tomorrow. So if you have a PC, a gaming PC, go and download that while you've got the chance.
Definitely. And I also think if you haven't already, and if you have Twitch and Amazon Prime, you can download The Curse of Monkey Island. So do it.
I need to do that before I
free.
forget.
It's free.
Get it done. Get it done. No excuses.
Get it done. But yes, so it's been a bit of a strange couple of weeks for news. We're talking game delays. We're talking, of course, kickoffs with Xbox, Microsoft, and delaying their games. We've had news from I wouldn't even say news actually. We've had personalities saying that they're cancelling subscription services, and then kickoffs surrounding that. We've had more game delays. We've had some game releases. It's been a weird bag, but there has been some news that's come out of it that's also positive. One of the ones I want to speak about actually is a little bit that come from the chat that Jeff Keighley mentioned. Jeff Keighley had the other day on Spaces, on Twitter Spaces. He had a chat around his showcase that obviously comes on the 9th of June, and what we can expect with that. And as part of that, he mentioned that we shouldn't expect to see a lot of third-party showcases at all, and the vast majority of third-party games and announcements would actually be either at his showcase or at Microsoft and Sony showcases. Not to expect any third-party showcases, essentially. With that in mind, of course, it confines the showcase, should we say, the showcase schedule quite significantly compared to most years when we're expecting quite a few things scattered around here. But with that in mind, Shom, first of all, to yourself, what do you expect to see then in terms of, I think we've very briefly touched on this previously as to what we expect to see from third parties going into certain showcases, but who do you think, or what kind of releases do you think, or gameplay are we likely to see, first of all, in we'll say, the Xbox showcase? Do you think Modern Warfare 2 gameplay will be shown off there, or do you think Jeff Keighley's got that one, for instance?
I don't know. I think possibly Jeff Keighley. I don't think you'll have anything COD related on the Xbox stage or anything, unless Sony have decided to withdraw from the agreement. I can't remember who I heard say this. I remember I heard somebody else kind of echo the same thing, saying that maybe Sony aren't too pleased, well, not pleased, but wouldn't be cool with having the Xbox logo show on that, if you know what I mean. Yeah. I know there are some games, like you've got Minecraft Dungeons and stuff that will obviously have it. Deathloop would have it. But having a game of that magnitude, having Xbox splashed all over, that was supposed to be their marketing deal. Obviously, they can't get out of Xbox being shown on it, but when it's your marketing deal and then you've got your rival company being all over it, it's not a bad look. It's just a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
So I think it will probably be Jeff Keighley's reveal if it's at any. It might not even be shown at any. That's the thing. But I think it's a bit odd just this year. I was thinking about this earlier, that just the amount of people going, yeah, we're not going to do one this year. EA have dropped out. Ubisoft have dropped out.
Yeah.
Sony dropped out a couple of years ago. You've got trying to think with who's the company that's got all the little indie games that does the really weird but funny
Devolver.
show? Devolver. They're not doing one. And it's like, I know it's an easy thing to say, but I think kind of COVID still has its claws in a lot of games.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's not that there's games that aren't, not that they're ready to come out, but probably need a little bit more time. So a lot of these companies have gone, you know what, let's just sack it off. If E3 is not this year, that just gives a bit more time before we show anything. So there's a bit more of a grace period for things.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think with Devolver as well, I think hats off to them because they've been pumping out games left, right, and centre for quite some time. And obviously, Weird West was one of the latter ones there that's come out from Devolver. So I think them and the studios that they've got underneath Devolver's kind of wings, I think they've been pretty consistent. And I think it depends. Specifically with indie studios, you don't really want to press them because a lot of indie studios are obviously they're independent, but B, they in terms of timescales, it's even more difficult than a AAA because they essentially are just a small group, if not one person, like Tuning
Yeah,
was.
I mean, with indie games that take all the time you need, because if you cock your launch up, it's probably the end of that game.
And potentially you if it's not if you can't
If
afford
it's
to.
yeah. I mean, I quite like something, I can't remember his name, something Brown. You know, the Descenders dev.
Yes. Yeah.
They're from Manchester. Big up Manchester. That's where I'll be where I'm moving to shortly, going back home. But yeah, it's like they were always talking about how good Game Pass is for them because of it basically not keep the lights on, but it gives them a good boost.
Yeah.
And they've got a new game coming out soon, I think. And I wonder whether that's going to launch into Game Pass.
Oh, yeah, the Mike posted it, doesn't he? Was it Mike?
Yeah.
I think he mentioned it because he was like, I cannot confirm or deny this game will be launching on something.
So it's that kind of say, if you've got a dev that has launched had a game in Game Pass, and then they're then coming back to Game Pass, that says that something's good in it for them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he mentioned he obviously put after all the rigmarole this last week. Is it?
Say that again, Mike?
Is it Mike Stone? Sure his name. I know you mean. It's the one that does the Descenders.
Yes. Yeah. I think after the rigmarole specifically this week as well, and obviously his comments regarding Game Pass and how it helps devs, and in most occasions essentially covers a lot of the advertisement stuff and publishing stuff, so they don't have to worry about any of that. And because it goes straight on the Game Pass, essentially they're making profits immediately, so it takes a lot of the pressure and alleviation away from them. So he's got literally no issues putting any of his games on Game Pass because...
Well, that highlights it as well, because you've always got that section of coming soon or new releases.
Yeah, and they always shout it out as well.
Less likely to get lost in the store. Like, you see a lot of things and you're just like, this looks like crap, but I've never heard of it either.
Yeah. And it goes straight into the coming soon section, so it's really easy to find. Like, it's not just disappearing into the void and hard to dig out, because Game Pass is like 450 plus games in most European and US territories, so there's a lot of games to sift through to try and find anything new if it didn't have the sections that are laid out for it. But no, you've got a good point, and I think that game will go in it. It's kind of looks like a Stardew Valley-esque type game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Do you ever play the Descenders?
I did. Yeah, I did. It's it's a chilled out game, and that community's grown significantly.
It's dead chilled out, but it's flipping hard.
Yeah, it is.
It really is hard.
Yeah, it is. It was really good work, and they did a lot of work on it as well. Is it not Series XS enhanced as well now? I'm sure that.
Yeah, it was one of them. I think it was one of the first to be enhanced.
Yeah. So yeah, that's. I think we'll see more of that stuff coming. Definitely. Boxy, what do you think in terms of third parties then we're likely to see at each showcase? I mean, we know Sony have Hogwarts rights. I think there was something on their kind of client thing that they might have the Avatar one as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there was this leak about an internal presentation from Sony where they have shown all the logos that they have the marketing rights for, and Avatar was included in that. Yeah.
So what do you expect to see on both Jeffs in terms of the third parties that are now potentially not doing? We know EA weren't, but in terms of not expecting any other showcases and simply or anything that is going to be unveiled to be on the three major platforms, where do you see who getting what?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. I think we will see some games double on both.
Mm-hmm.
I could just for instance, if Ubisoft is ready to show off the Avatar game at the Summer Game Fest, that can still be shown at the Sony showcase, which is whenever it will be. Last year it was, I think, in September or so.
Yeah.
I've heard rumors. Well, I say I've heard rumors. I've seen on Twitter. I'm not an insider or anything, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to be having something in the beginning of June.
Yeah, I've seen that as well.
Yeah, I've seen that. I highly doubt it. Honestly.
Yeah, I thought we would have heard about something like that by now.
I'm thinking more.
Yeah. They do these spontaneous announcements of the showcases for these little state of plays. I doubt that they will announce their big 2020 showcase like, okay, it's tomorrow, stay tuned. It's not gonna happen. I've also seen leaks on Twitter that another October showcase is there. I've seen leaks from a apparent Sony September showcase. People need to realize that this happens each and every year. In the weeks before E3, you see tons of leaks for everything, game leaks, lists of apparent showcases for Xbox, for the Jeff Keighley's, for everything. These leaks happen all the time. That's the thing. If it is not really a legit source, like, I don't know, a Jeff Keighley dropping the price of the Xbox One X in advance to a showcase. If you see a random screenshot of Sony is having a showcase on June 3rd. Yeah, take it. Just stop it. If you see these Xbox showcase lists, don't trust them.
I don't think any of them have ever been accurate. The only time they're ever even slightly accurate is they just happen to guess.
No, there was one time when a security guard had leaked it all. Yeah. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. There was a security guard who worked at the thingy center where they did E3, leaked everything.
Yeah, maybe. I do remember that.
Yeah, I don't think it was a security guard. It was someone who was working with the lighting on stage. But
something like that.
Yeah. But that is then going to happen like 10 hours before the show or so. Yeah. So just if you see a screenshot from a list that is obviously typed in Note in a Windows Note sheet or something like that, just we all can make educated guesses, and of course there is going to be Starfield there at the show. Of course they will show either a Hellblade or an Avowed or some of these games. So if I put them in the list, does this make me an insider and this is a leak? No, it isn't. So take all of that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But Dutch, coming back to your original question. The third parties, when and where will we see those? It is an interesting topic. It is actually a major topic for tomorrow's World of Gaming as well, because we have seen Jeff Keighley come out this week and saying that he is sure that there won't be as many third-party showcases this year. We already know that EA is not going to have one. We don't know whether Ubisoft is going to have one. We don't know whether Devolver is doing one.
Yeah.
So obviously Bethesda is not going to have their own showcase anymore. That's probably a safe bet, and that's why it is a super interesting question. Where are we gonna see all these third-party games? Because if Sony is doing the same like last year with and BitCloud can help me out here, by the way, welcome. It was September last year when Sony had their showcase, end of September or beginning of October, I always forget. But anyway, if that's when Sony is doing it this year again, so starting at the fall season, it's kind of late for a Ubisoft to announce the Avatar game or to premiere, I don't know, the Modern Warfare 2 gameplay. So I think actually we will see quite a lot of those games at the Jeff Keighley's. And it wouldn't be the first time that Jeff Keighley is doing something like a first tease. Age of Empires 4 last year. Little tease at the Keighley's, full reveal at the Xbox event, something like that. And of course, later other games like we all assume Avatar is in Sony marketed game. So yeah, little tease of the Avatar game at the Keighley's, and then whenever the Sony showcase will be. But yeah, I think the Summer Show Fest from Jeff is gonna surprise a lot of us. He has been ramping up the production quality over the last 2 years significantly, and this one is going to be even bigger without the third-party showcases. We know Square's not gonna have one. So yeah, where will they show them? They have the two first-party showcases from Xbox and Sony.
Yeah,
and they have the Keighley's. That's the options. So yeah, don't underestimate the Keighley's this year. And maybe if you allow it, I do a shameless plug here.
Yes,
that's why I'm gonna have a live reaction show on my channel for the Keighley's this year. Right after the show, I have the Xbox International crew on there,
nice.
and Hong Soul and a couple of others might join. So we will have a reaction show right after the Keighley's on my channel to discuss this show, because I think we shouldn't underestimate this show this year.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think he's gonna have a lot in there, and I think it does help him specifically that these third parties aren't doing their own shows, because he gets a lot more of the pick.
Absolutely.
A lot more of the pick. Before I go to someone else, we will welcome BitCloud. How are you doing today, sir? What you been up to? Oh, muted still.
There you go. Trying to make sense of all this news that we've been getting from these ridiculous Plus situation.
Plus,
now we got reports of new consoles already, and we haven't even touched these consoles.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know how to feel right now.
yeah. I think we'll get into those that a little bit later as well. This you sent a very interesting post into the DMs there before you jumped on regarding
you like
PS
that, huh?
Plus.
Yeah.
That is insane. And we'll talk about that.
There are people damage controlling this, saying, "Oh, Sony can't be exploited." But I'm sitting there going, everybody in this chat, especially, I'm pretty sure you guys stacked your memberships, whether it be for Live, whether it be for Plus or whatever, so you don't have to worry about it down the road. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's lapped their service at some point.
Yeah.
So the fact that dudes are defending that, saying that, oh, they should be paid before you go to an upgrade tier, again, man, I don't know what it is, man. I really don't. Like, it's bad enough you got dudes damage controlling $70 games, but now we're damage controlling paying $3,000 if you spend.
The guy from Hong Kong got to pay $1,000 or something.
Oh, there was higher than that.
He has to pay $3,000 in total.
$3,000
in total, because he bought 15 years. Basically, he loved the service so much. Let's face it, he just future-proofed himself for 15 years. That's what he did. He didn't have a care in the world. He future-proofed himself for 15 years, and then he's now that the new essential tiers and the new tiers are going to drop. When he drops into that essential tier, he's going to get that fine. He'll be, hey, listen, if you want to get into the premium, you want like $3,000 out of your pocket, plus the whatever. Does that make any damn sense to anybody in this chat?
Nope.
No. I mean, even if they wanted to charge, it's kind of like, at least let him do it yearly, not just kind of like, well, yeah, up front, this is what you got to do. Say, actually, no, I only want to do this for a year, and then I'll drop back down.
And the funny thing is, they took away the monthly. You can't do monthly.
Yeah.
Well, you got this debt thing. You can't do monthly. You can't do. You have to do yearly completely. You have to do the whole annual. So again, how does this benefit me?
Yeah, I've had an interesting discussion today on Twitter with someone, and I can't remember the Twitter guy, but he brought up a perfect analogy with how this feels. So imagine you're getting a burger at a reduced price, like 50% off, and then while you're eating that burger, you decide you want to drink something, and if you want that drink in addition to your burger,
buy another burger.
Yeah, you got to buy another burger before you get the drink. So that's how this feels, and I absolutely agree. It's weird.
Why can't they do, like, you know, when you buy an Xbox Live, an Xbox Gold 12-month, and then it says, oh, if you convert this to Ultimate, we'll give you 3-4 months of Ultimate Game Pass.
Here's the wild part. They had that already there. If you think about it, PlayStation
why can they
now.
not just go, well, you've bought 15 years, but we want the rest of the money, and you're like, well, no, that's not going to happen. All right, then, well, we'll condense it down. That works out at 4.5 years.
This was all, you can think about it. It was all kind of like a weird Ponzi scheme, it feels like, in a weird way. I'm tell you why. Because if y'all remember when we first saw this actually get into the PlayStation blog for the tiers, they stealthily removed the option for you to subscribe to PlayStation Now. Yeah, I remember that. PlayStation Now was required to get in the premium. So if you were a Now subscriber, then you would be a premium subscriber now if you bought into it. You see what I'm saying? So they stealthily removed that and just had only PlayStation Plus. So obviously people go, okay, so if I buy double, I'm into this, right? No, that's what it is. So they got y'all into this Ponzi scheme, and people don't get it. People on damage control, like, oh well, that's on them. How is it on them?
Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand at all how they can essentially require you, if you have 15 years of regular PS Plus, how can they possibly say, right, okay, well, now you have to, if you want to upgrade, the only way to do it is essentially to buy 15 years worth of difference of the upgraded cost. Like, in what world does that make sense? Like, and not just say, okay, well, every month you're going to have to make up the difference, so every month we're going to charge you the extra 5 or whatever it is, the extra 8, we'll charge you 8 a month. Or if you want to, by the year, instead of just saying, no, you've got 15 years, so to upgrade you have to buy 15 years of difference. Like, I don't understand the logic behind that thinking, and PlayStation have come out and confirmed it, which is the worst thing. The reply to the guy who asked about it, and they were saying, yeah, that's right.
So if this had been Xbox fans, we'd have all kicked off like crazy. And you can guarantee within 24 hours there'd have been a post saying, we made a mistake. We shouldn't have done this. We're putting it so that you can just, carry it over or get your money back or whatever.
Yeah.
There'd have been something. But it doesn't feel like on the PlayStation side, like there's enough people willing to stand up and say, what the hell are you doing to me? I can't afford this shit. I got kids and a family, you know what I mean? It's just, I'm not giving you $3,000 to top it up for 15 years or whatever, even if it's a year or 2 years.
And that's the thing, they're going to lose, like, they're going to lose people that would have went to premium, that now it's financially impossible. Like, how's that guy cannot buy? I mean, unless he is very rich and he's got to spare £4,000.
No, I mean, he bought 15 years worth, so he's probably not short of a few quid.
I mean, this guy is obviously not the average PlayStation gamer.
Yeah,
like, I have PS Plus, I buy that once a year in a sale, usually at a reduced price for the next year.
As
and
CD
that's,
keys,
I think,
get it for 40. You know what I mean? Save a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Like something like that.
keys.
Yeah, in a Christmas sale or whenever, and then I renew my PS Plus for the year. That's how I do it, and that's probably more of how most gamers do it. The thing is, though, I hope that Sony makes a lot of money with this, because doing this means that they sell a lot of goodwill from the gamers. If you go to the upgrade shopping cart and then suddenly this is more expensive than you expected, I think you will lose a lot of goodwill for this new subscription service.
You know what as well, Boxy? It's just as the news of this subscription service was coming out, lots of the PlayStation community went out and stacked things.
Yeah, of course, because everyone was assuming that it is done like Xbox did it, where we all bought like crazy these gold
That way you can get ready for the service.
Exactly. So end of 23, I'm gonna be it's gonna be the first time for me that I actually pay the regular Game Pass price, and everyone was assuming the same is gonna happen here now with PlayStation. And I get the business side of things, of course, but again, I think it is a tough gamble to put out the goodwill for people that subscribe to a new subscription service where they are not really gonna know how is Sony gonna support this over the years. Is these really good launch lineup? And I said that last week. I'm surprised. I didn't expect the launch lineup to be that good. But is this a one-time thing? Will we see continuous quality drops into the subscription service? No one knows. So if you're subscribing now, you're doing that on goodwill. And if the first thing you see is a slap in the face with the price, I'm not sure if this is gonna behoove them.
Yeah. You would think they would just overall tally like how much you have, like in terms of spent like for the actual total like package, and then convert that into whatever tier it is. You know what I mean? Like if you bought 3 years plus, okay, let's convert that into the 1 year and some change premium. You know what I mean? That makes sense.
And that's what they did
15
what they
years,
did for Xbox. They essentially said if you had like EA and Xbox, which was obviously the combined, if you had them both, we'll convert them both. And for instance, I had a year's worth of EA and they condensed it down and it was only worth like 4 months or something. So I got 4 months of EA, which converted in that 1 year's EA converted into 4 months worth of Xbox Ultimate. So I got 4 months on the end. And that's essentially what they should do for this. If you've got a year's PS or 13 years like this guy's got, essentially what they should do is just say, right, okay, you're obviously not going to pay £4,000. So if we work out the difference is 4,000. If we take off 5 years from that, that'll make up the difference. So instead of having 13 years, you've got 8 years of premium. Is that okay? Right, great. Sorted.
Yeah.
But it's clearly not an option, and they just expect people to pay the entirety in one go.
I got really lucky with that EA Play because I bought just the day before they announced it coming to Game Pass. I bought a year's worth off eBay for like half the price, and then the next day it got announced it was coming to Game Pass. I was like, I've wasted my money. I can't believe it. And then the day about a week later, the 4 months came in, and I thought, nice. I think I paid about 14 quid for 3 or 4 months of Game Pass, so I didn't feel so bad though.
Yeah, it is absolutely wild. It's absolutely wild. But you mentioned there, and I think before we get back to the topic of games and showcases and things, you did mention as well another topic that even Steve mentioned before, and that was the new systems, the apparent leak by AMD that by 2023-24 we will see a PlayStation 5 Pro and new Xbox Series consoles. So their variants, their Pros or whatever it is. Steve, I'll let you get away with this
it's not
first.
like anything before. That's what they said in the fine print.
Yeah,
They're probably more than a half step that you would see with like a PS4 Pro.
Steve, what do you think? I know you've said you don't expect to see them, or you'll expect to see a Pro version, but what do you make of this leak? Obviously, it's from AMD, which is a bit different.
It's not AMD, it's from TCL.
Oh, TCL, yes, that's right,
the TV company, yeah. So which makes me kind of like, maybe that's what they're anticipating rather than there being that.
It's a good shout.
The specs is it expects to do 4K, 60 to 120, 8K 60 to 120, and it's supposed to have a RX 700 XT GPU, which whatever that is, I do not have a clue. It just sounds expensive.
Yeah.
So and it's like I think General was saying earlier, it's just like this, we can't even get hold of them now.
Yeah.
So to have something coming out next year or the year afterwards, unless I did see Jez say that there could be different chips, so that's how they might get around it. There's different. They can make them a lot easier than what they're doing now, but
yeah,
I think it's all a little bit presumptuous. It sounds more like the TV company are expecting that rather than they have inside information on that.
Yeah.
Because if I was Microsoft and Sony and somebody had leaked that, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be like a projection sort of thing that they expect to see the consoles by this date.
Do you think they might have had words with both? I mean, the problem we've got here is Xbox have I know they've got multiple TV partnerships. I think they've got one with LG. They've definitely got one with Samsung. TCL, I think, is a budget partner that they've got there, so I'm sure they work with TCL in some respect. I know Sony, however, are a different kettle of fish because they just want to push their own TV. I don't know if they've got...
Yeah.
Go on.
No, what I'm saying is that I just can't see, unless they've got somebody inside AMD that's telling them this.
Yeah.
There's no way that either Microsoft or Sony would leak this, especially Sony, like you said, if they've got their own TV thing, which doesn't appear to be that great when it comes to gaming.
May I jump in here real quick?
Yeah.
Because Champ, I have to absolutely disagree here. I'm very sorry, but it's all not true. The enhanced consoles were driven by the TV industry. TVs in 2017-16 have caught up to 4K.
Go home.
And the consoles were just not capable of doing that. It was one of the major pushes from the TV industry to push out these 4K consoles. And we know that Sony as well as Xbox are working with almost all the major TV manufacturers together. Of course, they have to. They have the TVs that come out in 3-4 years, they are in development right now. And the consoles that are out in 3, 4, 5 years are also in development right now. They have to align. They have to align on certain standards. What are the bandwidth? What are the supported ports? Do I need an HDMI 2.1 in 3 years? Do I need an HDMI 2.2? Whatever. You got to align these things.
Yeah.
These companies talk. They are aware of their roadmaps for the next 3 to 4 years. So unless AMD would have leaked it, I think there is hardly a better source than actually the second largest TV manufacturer out there, but that is TCL. That's the one thing. And the other thing is, it totally makes sense. You have the blueprint from last gen. It worked perfectly.
No, but last gen was the blueprint for last gen was purely because both systems were ridiculously underpowered for what.
Doesn't matter, dude. You know how underpowered your PS5 is right now. You know how underpowered your Series X is right now compared to a mid-tier PC. You have Zen 3 GPUs already.
Yeah, but you've got your CPUs are struggling with lower market. I get what you're saying, and
technology moves way faster.
But I just can't see next year. What, 2-3 years after the thing? I can't see it. 3-4 years maybe.
Yeah.
But 2 years, especially when they're going on about
2 years. 2 years would be this year. 2 years would be this year. Next year is 3 years, and 24 is 4 years. So absolutely, this is for sure coming. Look at the last gen. 3 years into the generation, we had the PS4 Pro. 4 years into the generation, we had the Xbox One X. That would translate to this time to 23 of PS5 Pro, and in 24 an Xbox Series XX or whatever it will be called. So yeah, absolutely, it makes sense. We are talking about RDNA 3 GPUs here. We are talking about Zen 4 CPUs. We are 2 generations further in the CPU technology than what you already have right now. This year, Zen 4 CPUs are coming out this year. So technology just moves a lot faster than these 7-8 year console cycles. And since this business model was very successful in the last generation for both of them, for Sony and Microsoft, there's absolutely zero reason why they wouldn't do it this year, time again.
There's one big reason they wouldn't: COVID. And
that delays probably a little bit.
It's going to delay because we just can't get the chips. We can't get the consoles right now.
It's also all not true. It's all not true because you have live-to-date sales that are significantly higher than in the last generations. Even though all the consoles are sold out, both Sony and Microsoft have sold more PS5s and more Xbox Series consoles than in the previous generation. The chips are available. The demand is just significantly higher.
It's too high, yeah.
So that's not true. And the other thing is, COVID delayed game development, but everything else moved along even through the pandemic. The hardware, the technology devs, they didn't have that luxury of delaying stuff. Yeah. Honestly, I also work in an industry that doesn't have the luxury of just delay the game or your product. It is not a possibility for many, many industries, and the semiconductor industry is one of them. They don't have the luxury of delaying stuff, and that's why you got Zen 3 CPUs already at the beginning of last year. You will get Zen 4 CPUs this year. You already have SSDs that are significantly faster than even the PS5 one out there. The bandwidth of RAM sticks is already significantly higher than what you have in the consoles. The GPUs have moved along, and it is just technology is moving further, faster, and COVID didn't slow it really down. Honestly, it's just the question about the chip shortage is just because you have a significantly higher demand. So yeah, I don't see any reason why this shouldn't be true.
I think the only thing I would say on it is I don't think it'll be 23, 24. I think it maybe be closer to 24, 25. I'm not sure how.
Hey,
I
guys,
would
check the DM for a second.
Okay.
Let's check the DM because this is I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts on this. This is funny because now the defense force is saying that it was an error, it's been fixed. It was no damn error. That was going on.
Oh, was this the Red Dragon
multiple
tweet?
users?
Yeah.
I can't see it in the DM, but I did see it before.
He's deleted. Wait a second. 2 seconds.
No,
it's still there. Yeah, multiple users have complained about the upcharge.
Oh yeah, that's defense force.
Oh Lord.
Didn't the official email that Sony sent out say that this upgrade model is as we discussed it earlier?
Yeah,
I think so.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, me. No, it's I mean, considering that someone from PlayStation essentially confirmed it earlier, I don't think so somehow.
No.
That was a mistake, then. So was Xbox doubling the price of gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it was an error.
It was just an error.
It was an error. Yeah. We never intended.
The intern accidentally tweeted it.
Yeah. Something we talked about internally was never supposed to go live or on thing. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, baby.
But
yes.
I think if it is true,
yeah,
I think it'd be a bit annoying. I'm going back to the TV thing.
Yeah.
I'd be a bit annoyed if I was Sony and Xbox because you'll now have customers going, well, I'm going to wait now then. It was never a priority. For me, I haven't got a PS5 yet. I want to get one, but if this is true, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to get a PS5 and then...
you might as well save them pennies and just get the ultimate.
If it's true, it makes me want to wait as well. Like, there's no rush for me to get a PS5 now.
Imagine that. We got pro... Well, actually, you might as well call them elite. You can't even call these pro consoles. These are the elites. Now, you got elite consoles and a span of 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. 2 years, not 3 years.
Not even a mid-gen refresh, is it?
That is or it don't even feel like a restart, right? That just feels like a reset.
Yeah.
Like a full-fledged reset on what you got. And also, what does that say to the people who already bought into this?
I was going to say it's a little bit of a kick in the teeth for day one or at least year one.
Exactly. How many people were waiting in line on PlayStation's actual website to get in line?
Yeah.
You see? This is wild.
So then them kind of go, well, there's going to be a better version.
But it's also not like these consoles are coming out tomorrow. We are talking here potentially about end of 23, probably more likely 24. So you, after 4 years, and even if you are day one buyer, like for instance I am, I bought both day one, pre-ordered them. I will still sell. Yeah, I will still sell these consoles for probably around $300 or so after 4 years, and that means that I played 4 years on the current gen hardware for $200. So on each console, around about, maybe $250. I don't know.
I'd have to privately sell mine. I could not sell them in a store.
I also bought them, sold my old consoles privately, but it doesn't matter. So the upgrade thing, and it is an optional thing. If you don't want to spend another, whatever they will cost, $500 or so, it's optional.
You all know that we are doing that, don't we?
Yeah, it's zero reason why they shouldn't exist. Yeah, if you don't want them, don't buy them.
The only thing
at this rate, though, I don't see these being $500. These new ones.
Yeah, sure.
I also agree.
The only way you're going to appease the angry fans is to
you don't understand.
Lower price.
I hope y'all realize this. A lot of people ain't catching on. We've officially hit Steam Machine territory.
Yeah.
Yep.
With this, we've legit now. We went from base or intermediate, right? Then you got the advanced, then you got the elite. Now you got elite consoles dropping. They're gonna be more than $500. They'll
Yeah.
probably be in the $600 to $700 price
probably.
range at this point.
Yeah,
Which when it gets a little bit untenable, really, because then you're going to have 3-4 years, and then you've got the next gen out.
That's what I'm saying. At
It
that
just
point,
seems like they're just really fleecing their hardcore fan base.
well, it's not just that though. You've seen how Sony's been acting with PC. They're pretty much already telling you where to go at this point. If you're gonna keep buying these consoles, you might as well just buy into the PC ecosystem. I'm gonna tell you why. Because number one, you ain't gotta worry about upgrades. You're future proofed, and if you need anything to be fixed, all you gotta do is do something simple as swap out a GPU. That's really it for a PC.
Yeah, them GPUs aren't cheap.
The price has been going down for the most part, but yeah, it's still not a. That's
something. I had that speculation about a year ago on a different podcast, and I said, if I would be able to design a console today, I would design it as a modular console, like having. You remember these N64 DDR expansions, kind of like those?
Yeah.
Make the GPU, make the RAM, the SSD, whatever, exchangeable from the backside, that you kind of slide out a little module, and you can.
I had this exact same conversation with my dad.
Swap that out. I know it's technically really hard, because then you actually have a PC, and the beauty of the console ecosystem is that the developers have to code for a dedicated hardware, and they know it runs on every system, millions of systems out, and it runs everywhere the same, and that kind of changes things up. But since all these games from Sony and Xbox are developed for PC anyway, it's basically just for those guys, we use this presetting from PC or this presetting from PC for this and that configuration, and there you go. And with the x86 architecture now in the Series consoles and the PS5, there's literally no reason why this shouldn't be possible. So that would be my dream console, honestly.
Yeah, it would make sense. The problem we've got with both of these is they're just again, as you mentioned, though, it would be great to swap them out, and both of them have relied on completely integrated hardware. So integrated SSD, they've both kind of essentially said, and I know BitCloud, you know as well from PlayStation side, it's integrated SSD, you can't get anything as fast as this unless you use ours, and it works, blah, blah, blah.
Unless they change the whole format, and like let's say they partner with Intel or something like that, and they have consoles where that are modular, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
WandrinDutch, where you can actually buy additional parts to like kind of like attachments to improve, or stuff like that. But then again, that's going into the PC realm. And two, that sets up so many different avenues, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be proprietary type of stuff you're going to be buying into, as well as it's going to be.
I'm not being funny, but people were complaining about having to take a bloody panel off and fit an SSD into a PS5. There's no way.
Unless they got like some Legos, like it's like you just add on to it, like stack it like Legos. I got a PlayStation 17 stacks of achievements. I don't know, man. I don't know how you would do it, but
is it like the Mega Drive, the 32-bit CD stack sort of Genesis?
And you gotta do is complain, and they gotta change their whole idea of where they put the console, because you can't put it in the entertainment center at that point. It ain't gonna fit, so you gotta.
An entire room for it.
Do it. So
it's almost like you'd have to find a case for it and something to cool it.
Now I was saying all that stuff we bought.
Just put it in a fridge.
I need to jump in real quick. I just got a call. I need to briefly pick up my wife. I will be back in like 25 minutes.
I'll direct questions your way for a bit.
Get out of here.
I'm sorry. I'll be back in 20 to 25 minutes.
No worries.
Walk.
All right. See you
shortly.
Later, bro. No, like what's like modular consoles? That would be like, you know how many narratives would die in record time? Because I remember that's like the big thing. PC gaming is too expensive.
Yeah,
the consoles are kind of taking that away, wouldn't you say? I mean, look how short of a time frame you have to do now for you to upgrade. This is pretty substantial. You know what I mean? Like before, I mean, you could argue with the PS4 and Xbox One, sure, because it was a long wait before that. But this is 4 years, pretty much 4 years.
Just reading.
You're paying almost $1,000.
Just reading Phantos's thing. He just put the Xbox Duplo edition.
Yeah.
The triple stacked,
The
the
Meccano.
triple stacked PS5 edition. You know what I mean? PS5
Wait,
Extra XL. Might as well just call them. You might as well take your naming from Nintendo at this point. Start putting XL at the end of these consoles. I don't know, man.
PlayStation and Xbox Labo.
Yeah, Labo.
Oh no!
Labo, just add cardboard, fit it in, good to go. No, it's
Now with 100% more cardboard.
the only thing I've got again for this is, yes, they will get enhanced consoles by the looks of things at some point this generation. Yes, the TVs are going to keep increasing, but that isn't going to speed up the development time of any of the people that are trying to create the experiences, and they're not going to be able to cope with the speed of this anyway. So as much as they're pumping out Zen 3, Zen 4, whatever the architecture is that's superseding the stuff that we've already got in the current consoles that we've barely touched in the first place, and we haven't even scraped the surface of their capabilities, let alone the capabilities of a 3090 at full tilt. Developers aren't making the most of the technology they've got as it stands yet anyway. So pushing and pushing and pushing, even if we get the enhanced consoles by 24, 25, whenever it is they release, the developers still wouldn't have got to the point where they're taking the advantage of the original ones, let alone pushing for what the next ones can do.
Different SKUs, different code at this point, unless they're doing some like Unreal Engine 5's forward compat with everything. Maybe they build it from that. Like, it's not really going to be that big of a hassle for them. But again, you always kind of run that issue when you're going with, new SKUs because new power and new limitations. So it's like, it's always a slippery slope with that, right? Because you know how there's always that one side of developers that don't really care to push anything and just kind of settle in the middle. So now it's like you got the whole narrative changing again. You have another set of power that you can touch into. Mind you, you haven't even maxed out PS5 yet or Series X.
Yeah. That's
Wasn't one of the issues with the One X not doing as well as every thought was because not everybody had the dev kits for it?
Yep.
So that could be another issue. You've got
the GPU too. Yeah.
Was it the GPU? Yeah. But you've got, not everybody will have the dev kits, so there's no point if only a third of the devs have the actual dev kits.
Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people are going to be. There's definitely going to be a big influx of people saying, "Yo, optimization's a problem when these new units come out." I can already see it. That's definitely going to be the case. Everybody's going to start getting hardware issues. Remember that conversation? I don't know if you guys remember that conversation, but you remember how they cheaped out on the cooling solution on the PS5 to get it out there.
Yeah,
they cut it out.
Yeah.
Expect those issues to start occurring. I'm telling you, by the time these new ones drop, expect
100%.
Again, like you got to like legit look at the broader picture. There's a lot of stuff they cut corners with to get into these new units. A lot. And again, when they show this off, is it going to look the same? Probably not, right? So that means if you spent 70 or 50, I forgot how much those side panels are. Let's say you spent $70 on those side panels. Guess what? You got to buy another set of side panels eventually, because they're not going to be compatible with that number. So it's like, it's a lot, man. It's a lot taken.
Just a wild sequence to be in. Already talking enhanced consoles when, yes, they're outselling currently the previous generations, but at the same time, you see it every day where people still aren't getting a hold. And you see, still there's Steve Watson in chat there. He's only just picked up the Series X. He got a Series S initially.
Well, now you got to get the Series XL, my dude.
Yeah. Time to upgrade.
The Series X.
That's why I said series. You know what I'm saying? It's a series
of consoles.
Another series on
that will go on forever.
It's got the XL.
The Series XXL.
Microsoft doesn't even have to change the name. They can just keep it. Yeah, Microsoft doesn't even need to change the name for their next consoles going down. They just keep series and just change it. Yep. The leather. That's all they got to do.
Yep.
The Alpha series.
Yep.
There you go.
Series XXL. Triple XL.
Mm-hmm.
XL.
Jeez.
I do miss. I do
the GT and the GTR and GTI. And
they missed the golden opportunity.
Go on the car line eventually. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They missed the golden opportunity last gen though. They should have called the Xbox Durango. I think that would have been much better. The Durango or Elite. I don't know, man. The Xbox Elite sounded perfect at that time too, but that was only for a certain model.
We had an Elite.
Yeah, it's the 360.
I don't know why they just removed the Elite from the
that
title.
name. They wasted that name on just an old.
I would keep that
Xbox
synonymous with the box, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like you just keep going. Like every gen, you'll get an Elite model, and the Elite model would be the sought after. You know, the one where we have no heating problems, has better performance. That would have been better stick for them, but no.
There you go. The Series XP. Sin put in the chat.
Oh,
so we could have the Series XP and then the Series Vista.
Yeah, it'd be bundled with Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's just such a weird time to be in, isn't it? To already, like I say, we haven't even begun to see what these machines can do. None of these machines have been taken advantage of yet. No developers released a game that's only been for these machines so far, that have technically been only developed for this machine. You can shout, I would say, what Returnal, maybe, but even then, that's not pushing the machine to any degree.
You know what that also means too? That means that the performance too that we're pretty much all the performance that we've seen so far, like all the current consoles, like for all the games that we gotten, have pretty much been undermined because we just got hyped for Deadspace. I'm excited for Deadspace remake, right? Now imagine nobody's gonna be talking about Deadspace remake on PS5 regular or Xbox Series. They're gonna be talking about, damn, I wonder how this will look on the Pro.
Yeah,
how this will look on the, you know what I'm saying? Like they just undermined all the consoles, all the hype just got like sucked out of the conversation. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Like usually at a time like this, because I love hardware. We all love hardware. Usually it'd be times like this where you're excited to jump in, like, oh, yeah, cool, new hardware, new options. This has got to be the first time ever where I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
We're good. You know what I mean? We're fine. For the first time ever, they got it right. We got two consoles out here on the market that are perfectly future-proofed for quite some time.
Yeah.
Can you
haven't they both used that word future-proofing as well?
Yeah.
So for them to then come out,
it's future-proofing now.
Now we're going to bring something out that's even more future-proof. It's
Lord.
like, well, what you know?
It's just future-proofing for 3 years.
Talk about undermining the value of your console at this point. You undermined it. Like, ugh.
You bought the future-proofed console, but have you bought the future-proof console?
And then they're talking about 8K. We don't even have 4K. Like we haven't even, well, okay, we're mastering 4K, but we haven't even mastered 4K yet. Now we're talking about 8K. Lord.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And then wasn't there a tweet that was going kind of, well, it didn't go viral, but it was a dumb tweet. Dude just saying that the PS5 Pro was going to do 220 frames.
Oh god, yeah, I've seen that.
Judging from what we're seeing in them specifications, I don't see 220 frames per second.
Oh, that was Foxy, wasn't it?
Like, where are we getting 220 frames per second from?
I'm really looking forward to the console war arguments on Twitter.
Oh god, yeah.
I'm not. It's gonna be literally a rinse and repeat. And funny thing is, we just got over it. It got back to what it was supposed to be about games. Now it's going back. Hey, my hardware's better than your hardware. It does this, and I'm like, who cares? At the end of the day,
it's just such a mad sequence to be in. Let's just hope by that point we have a lot of games that we can talk about, because right now we've had a spate of delays. God of War's not even guaranteed to be coming out this year yet. We still don't know about that.
I still think it will be.
Yeah. You still think it will?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if we don't hear anything anytime soon, that game ain't coming till next year. Early next year.
At this point, it's June. You got to hear something by June. If there's nothing by June, that's
ticking. If there's nothing by the end of the E3 period, it's delayed.
Yeah, I think it's going to drop in September. That's what I think will be the
I was
release.
going to say they need to miss October because Call of Duty's just dropped their date, and that's launching 28th of October. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So
September is the month. Ain't nothing in September.
Yep. It's September or nothing. Do not try and release it around Call of Duty, even though people hate it or are sick of it by this point. They love Modern Warfare 2.
Wasn't Sony's major event last year in September, though? I'm feeling that maybe they could be waiting for September again for their event.
I think that would be a disservice if they did that, because when are you going to drop the game then? December?
Yeah.
That's why I'm feeling it's coming early March.
I mean, Sony loved that early in the year, big AAA title. It seems obvious to me that they would go for that.
Yeah,
we all know for a fact they're not going to release that
almost their
game.
bread and butter these days.
They want that game out for the deadline of the Game Awards because we know how Sony love their Metacritics and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think if they announced it in September, that would be far too late to be dropping it like a month or two later. Sony love to have a period of
they do like a long, drawn out bit of advertising.
Yeah.
I honestly think that it's coming next year. I think they're a little bit worried that Elden Ring is going to win Game of the Year, and it probably is.
Yeah.
Let's face it now, that game is going to win Game of the Year. Personally, I've not played it, but I fully expect it to win Game of the Year because how well it's done and how pretty much universally loved that game was.
Yep.
And that's why I expect Sony to hold off till next year.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I fully agree.
Totally.
Speaking of Dead Space, though, BitCloud, you mentioned that one. That also got its release date for January. Which is good to see. We do have a release date for it. That's earlier than I expected. I honestly
when did this year?
Yeah. I honestly thought it was going to be later than that, though. Specifically because they only started talking about its development process and things this year. I thought, okay. All right, we'll probably see that maybe some point next year after. I didn't expect it to see as soon as January of next year. That's early. But it is looking great.
I kind of would have expected it to be around like an October to coincide with Halloween.
Yeah, like next year, October.
Yeah, surprised it's coming so soon.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think it's? I mean, I'm gonna go to Sham as well because I know you're a big Dead Space fan. I would say, would you have a little bit more worries of it coming earlier than expected in January, or do you think that's potentially another game that could and we won't put it past them, could be delayed?
Who knows with EA?
Yeah. Sean,
no, I'm not worried.
From what we saw, they pretty much treated this like a true passion project.
Yeah.
So it looked good. New sounds, new animations, dismemberment. I don't think we have anything to worry about with the game.
No, I don't.
Do you think?
And just because they started talking about it doesn't mean to say that it's not been in production
for a while.
Yeah, it's probably going through some more polish. You know what I mean? They probably polishing up, just doing some more testing. But it's
I'd say it wouldn't surprise me if you could play the game from start to finish now. It's just doing the polishing and making sure, checking bugs and whatnot.
I just can't wait till you get into that more hectic side of the game, with the regenerator and that psycho doctor. It's about the doctor who's like obsessed with the lore. He's like, he's trying to, I guess, become one of them, like that guy. It'd be cool though. They change it. Like, for example, you see what happens before you get there. You know what I mean? Like how everything goes from 0 to 60. Then you show up. That'd be a nice addition to the game. I would love to see how everything falls.
That would be cool if they work some sort of prequel in where you're just like playing as the civilian for the short little bit of prequel, and then bang,
or play as his wife or something. Have her running around or something.
That's a good shout.
I don't think you could have the wife because that's the whole twist with the game, isn't it?
No. She won't die or anything. You're just like running around with her like that first person POV type of view type of thing when you're running around and you just see stuff happening, like it's just happening around you type of thing.
Yeah,
and you just see everything falling apart.
I just hope it's successful because I want them to do either a 2 remake version or just reboot the franchise from 1 and take it elsewhere.
Oh, it's gonna do very well. I'm not even worried about that game. Dead Space 2 is just like it's a gem next to number 1 as well. 2 had like the perfect. It's basically the Resident Evil 4 of the franchise. It had that perfect mix of action.
I think they'll stick close to what 2 is, but 3 is where they will drastically change things.
Yes.
Yeah, 3 was more action / co-op focus they were trying to go for, and it just didn't come off.
Do you think they're going to do what some certain films do and essentially just pretend it never happened and just recreate 3?
Yeah, it would be smart to do that. Like you rebuild the trust, you do it right? Because again, there's nothing wrong with Dead Space 2. Dead Space 2 had the perfect story,
1 and 2 were
perfect characters, Perfect games, great soundtrack, whole 9 yards. And also, now they're adding this in part 1, which is another good thing too. But you know how like Isaac didn't talk in the first one, and it added more to that claustrophobic type of atmosphere of the game where he didn't talk. And then you kind of realize the reason why he didn't talk is because his suit was outdated. It was an outdated suit he was wearing, which even though you get new suits in the games, but again, that was their cop out. But you have that in both games. So if you're going into part 3, which was all action, this is the time when you revamp it completely. You retell it. If you want to introduce Carver, but do it more in that more tragic hero type of thing. And you know, if you want to do like a Last of Us type of thing where you have 2 different paths of characters you play as, like it switches you between them, or you can do like a Resident Evil 2 remake thing where you do like a part A, part B type thing. You know,
that's a good shout. I'd like to see that.
Be better. Yeah, that'd be better too. You get both sides. So
I think
I fully think that.
Go on, Jen.
I was just going to say, I fully think that when they get to 3, they'll do away with that whole co-op stuff. There won't be no
that's
co-op.
what I was about to say. Is that it wasn't that the story or whatnot of 3 was particularly bad. It was a survival horror doesn't work with co-op because if you've got a mate who's got your back, you go down.
You feel safe.
It takes the fear. It doesn't. Yeah, you don't have the anxiety that 1 and 2 give you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a way they could do that if they did somehow want to introduce co-op, but they need to do it in a way where the game forces you and your teammate to split up.
Yes. Yeah, and
so like you have to go and do one task while your teammate goes and does another thing or something like that.
So
or maybe there's just so many overwhelming.
Yeah, you're essentially not in the same screen for the vast majority. You like meet up in certain little sections for like a story moment, but then you've got to go and do this while the other guy does this. And I would suppose that also changes the replayability as well because you want to see both sides.
Yeah, maybe the odds on screen of enemies is so overwhelming that they push you in 2 separate pathways and they're just constantly coming at you, so it splits you up.
It's definitely interesting. Obviously, we're all super excited about Deadspace, but there is another horror game as well that's coming out soon by the original creator of Deadspace, Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That teaser trailer thing they showed looked creepy as.
You're too right.
Oh, you could tell they were worried about it. That's why we're getting the remake to begin with. Because let's face it, these guys are Visceral Games. That's what they originally were. These guys are talented. They're really talented. They had no problem recreating it. You can see the elements like the little life counter on the back of the guy, the Callisto Protocol. You see all that stuff. So all that stuff's gonna come back. But what I'm real intrigued by is just how darker it is. You know what I mean? It looks much more like disturbed looking, you know what I mean, versus Deadspace. So that's the cool thing about this. So whatever we get in Deadspace, I don't think it's gonna mirror what we're gonna see in Callisto Protocol at all. Callisto Protocol is about to be like,
I think that game's gonna be on another level.
Yeah, we're about to really scare the hell
different level.
Yeah.
And I think that
I just also think
go on.
Because of the new tech and stuff that's available to them, they can do so much more than what they could do with Dead Space. Even with the new version that they're doing, I still think they're probably somewhat limited in construction and design.
Yeah.
Whereas Callisto Protocol, they can do whatever they want. They can go to town.
Yeah, exactly. They don't.
What's it being made in? Is it Unreal 5 or?
I think it is. Yeah. I think it is. Which is even better because you're having a new IP. You're not restricted by, should we say, a fandom and a story that the likes of Dead Space has, where they kind of have to stick to things to a great degree.
You have to stick to the spreadsheet of stuff that was included in the last. This one is more, it's whatever you want. Yeah, I mean, you're throwing stuff at the board and you're just retelling, you know what I mean, or doing whatever you need to do, type of thing.
Yeah, that's. I mean, what ideally are you? We'll start with Sean first. What ideally are you looking to see then in Callisto Protocol? What would, in terms of story wise, how do you want that to play out? Do you want it to be like another Dead Space where it's very creepy, or do you want it? What kind of avenue do you want it to go down?
I don't want them to be a like for like copy with obviously a cult involved in some weird alien or that's a trope that's played out through. I mean, you've got that even in when you look at like Halo. You look at the Covenant and the Flood and things that it's a very cult like thing. My biggest thing that I really want them to nail above anything else is the sound design.
Yeah.
Which I think they did in Deadspace all the way back, because if you've got, I remember the guy I game share with, he was a huge Deadspace fan, and I wasn't a big fan of those horror games back then, and he came up to mine for a weekend, and he was like, "I've bought this," and I said, "Well, I've got some decent headphones, put them on." And he was just like, "This is like so much more intense." He says, "I can hear things rattling or crawling above my head."
I love
and
that.
even though he knew that there weren't anything there because he played it that many times, he was still looking around and up and down, looking, expecting to be jumped.
Yeah.
So if you can get a good sound design, I think that's half the game. I think it's especially with
sound design is.
Yeah.
Sound design is a must-have for horror games, definitely.
Yeah.
Judging from this game, though, I'm looking at the trailer right now. They're not wearing like those crazy spacesuits like Isaac's wearing. So it looks like you're probably just going to be like a normal crew member, maybe.
Is it a prison or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, like a prison, like you're a prison guard, and it's like the monsters or whatever, this aliens are transforming people. So judging from that, they're probably more likely going to go with like that super eerie, like, remember, you play Resident Evil 7, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Remember, like when you're in the house with the father and you hear the creaking of steps when he's like going around looking for you. I can see them going for that amplified with 3D audio as well, and adding like more so like just subtle touch. Like you might hear dripping of pipes, and like it might get super dead quiet, and you hear thump thump type of thing. You know what I mean? They're behind you, and they're like hiding in the shadows. Like that would be crazy. Like the type of thing I can see them doing, because at this point they don't have to redo the Deadspace formula. Deadspace formula work because you're in this suit. It makes sense. You can barely gear. This one, it's like, no, you're all out. You're on the ship. You're basically and essentially a crew member, like you would be on the Ishimura in Deadspace.
Yeah.
So, it looks crazy, and that's how I would think they would go.
Because I think sound design nowadays, when you think of Hellblade,
yes,
yeah, Hellblade. That's one of the best sound designs I think I've ever heard of. Just I put it on my wife's head, and she was just like, it creeped her out just right at the beginning. When you're rowing in, you can hear all the voices.
Yeah,
and it's it starts off your top right, and then you actually hear the voice move and go down to like your left bottom shoulder, but it's not like it suddenly appears there. So that's creepy. The same with when they did the update to Gears 5 in some sections when you're like in caves and stuff and you can hear the echoes. So if you can kind of combine those two types of sound design, I think it'll be an amazing game.
Yeah. One thing I'd love, you mentioned actually before, Sean, that's an interesting part, how even though this guy, sound-wise, even though this guy had been through the game and everything plays out the same, he was still looking around and expecting things to jump out. I would love for them to get to a point in time where the playthrough isn't always the same and you hear the same noises, and you might, like, for those who are expecting it to always play out the same time, it might not be, and every once in a while
randomized.
Yeah, every once in a while it changes and something actually does bust through the ceiling or something like that, and you're just like, holy shit, where did that come from? Like, I've played this 3 times already and that's never happened. Just flip it on its head, like keep people on their toes, where each playthrough and the enemies and where they spawn and how they appear is just different, other than the bosses and like certain set scenarios, like have these random moments where you just don't know what's going to happen because it's always different. I think if we get to a stage in horrors where that is the case, I think that would just take it up to another level entirely.
Yeah, because I mean, I've played Dead Space a fair bit. I've managed to get the 1,000 out of 1,000 achievement on it. And there are just some bits where right, I can just book it through this bit because I know there's no enemies. I can just run. And then it's just like, well, I know I need to hold up in this area because they come from this side, and then they come from this side, and then they come from this side, and they come from the same side, and it's next side, and it's done. But having that randomized encounter type thing would make it not only harder, or maybe not harder, but keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just can't go, right, I'm just going to leg it over to this point.
Yeah. It would be... That's the kind of stuff I would love, because like I say, even at the beginning of Dead Space and things where you're just figuring out what's going on the ship, and then you kind of like, okay, you need to turn this back on, you need to get this working again, and you go into one section and you turn around, and even I did when I was playing on stream. It was a couple of months back now. I played Deadspace again for the first time in a long time, and I completely forgot that this guy like jumps down from the ceiling. I was like, holy shit, where did he come from? You take a few steps back because they're brutal. They'll just cling on to you, and obviously I love the dismemberment on it as well. That's one thing, but you know that you have to just dismember them to slow them down, but then just take them apart, like completely take them apart. Otherwise, they'll keep coming. I just wanted to be I just wanted to be random, where you don't know what's going to happen at any given moment, and it keeps you on your toes. That's what I would like to see from Callisto. 100%. Jen, what would you like to see?
I'd like to see a lot more tense sort of stuff like you've got in Dead Space, but just amplify that. Obviously, like what Shom said with the sound design, I'd love them to improve upon what they did with Dead Space, because obviously the guy that is creating this game, the lead director of it, is the originator of Dead Space. I can't remember his name. Is it Glenn Schofield, I think?
Glenn Schofield, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope they don't repeat that sort of cult thing, like Shom also mentioned, and have some sort of like marker type situation going on there.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a repeat of that. I don't know. Maybe it could be some sort of parasite or something instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to say really. I just want to see it be a true horror game and not them wimp out like Capcom did with Resident Evil 8.
Yeah, and go down a little bit more family friendly. Should we say?
Yes, there was like only one true moment of horror in Resident Evil 8.
Yeah.
By now, if everyone's played it. It's like that house with a weird, creepy, like giant fetus baby thing. That absolutely terrified me. That was the most terrifying moment in the game, and that was it. The rest was not really scary. Like,
more action again, wasn't it?
Initially, when you first play the game,
it's
the
pretty
opening
good
sequence, you think to yourself, this is actually pretty scary, but it's not, because you're walking through the dark and nothing happens to you. And then, like the whole time, you're expecting something to happen to you, and it doesn't happen. And
but I think that's a sign of a good horror game for the first playthrough, because it's the tension it builds that you're expecting something.
Yeah, but they're the only two parts in the game
I'm
that
50-50 on what you just
tense.
Yeah.
The opening part initially when you play it is tense.
No. I agree with you. What I'm saying is that's the sign of a good game. If all the way through, this is what Dead Space does really well. When you first play it, you don't know anything about it. You're constantly anticipating being jumped.
Yeah,
because
you get your hope up and then shit hits the fan every time.
Yeah, and then there was some times when it's just kind of like, oh crap, there was nothing there, and then the jump scare happens, and you're like, oh shit, it's really well paced, really well done.
And you end up becoming the ultimate mechanic because you literally repair everything on the Ishimura from the damn.
Like that one part in Resident Evil 8 still gets me nervous and on edge when I replay that game.
Baby.
It's the creepiest part in the game, and it's really the only creepy part in that game.
Yeah.
One of the best bits in Dead Space, I remember, there's these, those who've never played it, there's these kind of monsters that kind of burrow into dead bodies and turn them into the enemy.
The infectors.
Yeah, and there's a bit you go through, and there's a couple of dead bodies about, and you go past it, and then you have to come back on yourself. And I was coming back through, and I was like, I'm sure there was some bodies in here. I'm sure there was some dead things there. All of a sudden, they just start attacking you.
You know what the creepiest one is, though? I'm surprised you didn't mention it. It's the one where it's like super, I forgot what it's called, but it's the super tall, skinny one that's made out of different pieces that actually move when you shoot them off. And the head is the main one you got to look out for, because it'll grab onto you. And if you don't get it off, it'll rip your head off and take your body.
That's the good thing about it. The deaths in that game. The deaths that you could encounter in that game were amazing.
Oh, the game, dude.
Yeah, I'm just hoping they go all out with that Callisto protocol. Like, don't curb any horror in there. Just go full horror. Do it.
I have a feeling they will. I think their treatment from EA and what they were forced to do with 3. I think they've got a lot more in it, especially when you know that a lot of the original devs are involved in it.
You know what it is?
And they said it's a homage to it.
I was going to say, with the one thing I hope that comes out both the Callisto Protocol and Dead Space is the return of actual horror games, like legitimate horror games that are scary, that keep you on your toes, that make you nervous, that make you kind of hesitant to walk around the corner again, because
that's what Resident Evil 7 did for me, and then they scaled it back in 8, and that was really disappointing. I still love 8, great game, no matter what anyone says, but I just wished it had more horror to it.
Yeah, that's my biggest gripe for it too. After like the first village scene, the dark scene, and like, I guess leading up to the house with the puppets, it just completely dies all the horror in the game. It becomes more of that like action / survivor. It's like I don't really care for it. Like even the extension, because the way they made the werewolves in that game when you first encounter them, like holy shit, I don't want to be alone with these guys.
Yeah, the brutal.
Then it's like okay, and then when you get later in the game, you're like okay, these guys are annoying. I don't really care as much for these guys. It's just,
when you've stacked up loads of weapons and things. Yeah,
exactly how it feels. Like Resident Evil 2 Remake, if I was to use that example, Resident Evil 2 Remake, it never felt like there was a dull moment in that game. It was always constant, you know what I mean? Like tension. Because as soon as you like progress in the story and you're still in the mansion, you start hearing those heavy footsteps. Now to the OGs, you knew what that was, but to the people who didn't know what that was, you didn't know. So it was always like that nerve-wracking feeling when you go around a corner, you're going, okay, was those footsteps downstairs or upstairs? Like
they're just like those footsteps are foreboding. It's like you're hesitant to go outside at first because you're like, is he outside?
Yeah. Then he opens the door and you're like, oh my god, he can actually go in the rooms. so that's the thing, man. I don't think though. Like I think honestly, they're trying to include more people in every genre. You know what I mean? So it's like they turn it down just for the sake of toning it down because they have to cater to
and they
a
need to
certain
stop trying to cater to
I don't like that.
Certain things,
Exactly. Horror games are not for everybody.
Yep, you can't make something for everybody. It's just impossible.
Like imagine having a Hellraiser game and you turn down all the gore in Hellraiser just to get in there. Like you know, what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense to me.
It's like listening to a lot of guys talking about horror games and having no interest in horror games.
Here we go.
I mean, look, you can throw movies into the mix too. Mike did the same thing though. You can throw movies in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, imagine The Descent.
Yeah.
If you take away all the rocks and just a bunch of creatures, but it's only one. But it's only one creature.
Yep.
So that was it. There you go. It's not, the tension's gone.
So that's the thing, though. Games can be way more scarier than any horror movie or TV show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just have yet seen a game fully embrace horror.
Yeah. It's been a long time since it has.
You ever seen Prometheus?
Yes, love Prometheus.
Imagine Prometheus on a scale of a game, really pushed, and you see the Deacon alien with the engineers.
Yeah,
I would be all in.
That's the thing I love. Like that's the type of thing that you want to see is like a build up, not like getting into it. It's like the tension is like so unbearable.
Right. So when the reveal happens, you're like, holy shit! Like I wasn't expecting that. Like that looks really insane. Like that's the thing. Like I don't know if you played Alien Isolation. That's another example too of a game that needs another sequel. That needs to come back. I don't know what that team was. I don't know what happened with the game, but honestly, we need a part 2 to that. That game is long overdue. It was so good. It was so well done. Yeah, there was a lot of backtracking, but they did it well.
Yeah.
Where you're exploring the ship. It's like, dude, that's.
I was hiding in lockers, actually physically holding my breath.
I love that mechanic too, because it's funny because I used to just hide in the lockers and just stand like a dumbass. So I'm breathing super heavy, and she's going, "Oh my god!" And he's like, he comes by the damn the locker and stares at you. I'm like, okay, I guess you can't hide from this guy. Because when you play it on nightmare difficulty, you're pretty much screwed. You gotta like follow.
We had that feature with the Kinect that the Kinect could pick up sounds within the room, so you had to be quiet in the room.
Oh man, like that's what I'm saying. Like they could have really pushed that, man. Like, especially those little trackers in Prometheus. You know, like where it scans the area and you see those little worms turn into the little snake things. Dutch.
Yeah.
Imagine those things in the game.
Yeah, they break
I'm
your
just saying, man. Hell yeah.
arm.
take over
That's
the body thing.
a game I didn't play much of, Alien Isolation, but I need to go back to.
Oh, it's
Oh,
a good
dude.
game.
I'll play
Did
it.
yourself
Yeah.
a disservice by not playing that.
You'll shit your pants. Boxer
That's
Burger,
why I
welcome
stopped playing
back.
it.
No, also what I loved about that game, and it's something that a lot of us don't take for granted too. But you know how like a lot of games do a lot of hand holding where they let the autosave?
Yeah.
There's no autosave in Alien Isolation. You have to legit do that yourself. So it forces you to move.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and there's no hand holding. Like, a lot of games don't do that.
Boxer Burger.
Maybe
welcome
I'll
back, brother.
reinstall it.
Welcome back.
Oxenberger,
Thank you.
Out the car.
Made it back.
I made it back. And then our son woke up and had a nightmare. So, but now I'm back.
Speaking of nightmares, we're talking of Callisto Protocol.
Fantastic. Perfect segue.
We've covered about things that because obviously we're super hyped about Deadspace. Obviously that got its release date for January. Callisto Protocol, of course, is getting steadily more and more unveiled as we go. We've seen a little bit more to it now, and that's of course due out soon. Is it this year or next? Callisto Protocol?
They said this year.
I think this year, yeah.
They said it was on track for this year. So,
Yeah.
So this year.
Yeah.
But it was a case of Boxy. What would you like to see out of Callisto Protocol? What we've essentially want, and like I say, is both that and Dead Space are kind of more in tune with horrors coming back and being horror games again, keeping you on the edge of your toes, keeping you scared, keeping you anticipating what's coming next. What would you like to see from Callisto Protocol to really stand out against, again, a game that the designers of Callisto Protocol designed in the first case?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't want them to change that much because Dead Space 1 was one of the few horror games that I consider almost perfect in that genre. I loved it. I mean, modernize a couple of things. I want to have a better combat system, of course, a modernized combat system. I, of course, want to have the character movement a little bit more modernized. But overall, I do hope that they can transfer the same kind of dense atmosphere that jump scares and the disgusting enemies and everything that made the first one so great. I want to have that again. And I mean, now we have consoles that actually can support a couple of effects that they had in the first one a little bit better, like spatial audio. Yeah, we have that now, of course. And if you think about that, what can you do when you hear like a
they also have too. We have engines that now support the ability to, and we talked about this on your show, where we can now have actual props from sets be scanned and put into games as opposed to them sculpting. So, I'm just saying, man, a lot of this stuff they could build as a model and have and you can have a crazy, realistic experience.
Absolutely. What I don't want them to do, I can tell you that I don't want them to implement some sort of like open world elements or open areas or stuff like that. I want
I don't want that.
I want that linear, denser experience where I just am directed through this route and then everything is orchestrated.
Oh, so you want that claustrophobic type of atmosphere, like the first first Deadspace.
Exactly. So we have enough open world or semi-open world games out there. I want that. I want that horror experience to be fully orchestrated. Yeah, like plan it out for me. I want that, and I think that is way harder to do in an open world or semi-open world. So I don't want to see that in that game. I want that dense and horrifying experience. So yeah.
And what would you like to see then from Callisto though, in comparison to that? Or is that what you want to see from Callisto?
I thought we are talking about Callisto.
I thought you were talking
because
about...
because I know what I'm getting with the Deadspace remake. Of course, that's the same game. Yeah. They bring it up to modern day standards with graphics, with better audio, but it's still the same story, the same games, the same.
Yeah. They have different paths and stuff that you can do with Zero G. So they added more, I guess, more layers to the remake versus the original. That's what they did, but still essentially the same. Callisto, though, I mean, honestly, I know you say you don't want to see an open world game. I mean, I don't think we ever gotten a really full-blown horror open world game, have we? I don't think we ever got one.
Not probably,
that's really
we are getting one with Stalker 2. We had the first one, Stalker 1, and we could say, well, Metro had horror elements.
But had they like when I'm talking about like because the thing about Visceral Games, the team over there has like this crazy sadistic like very creepy idea of horror with the creatures and everything. Like if you go to the Callisto Protocol trailer, you got tentacles going in dudes. They're actually showing all this stuff in the trailer. So they got like this real grotesque look of these creatures. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, it would be cool to be able to explore a bit and not and just have like that constant fear of when these things show up type of thing. Then when you get to those other areas, you know what I mean? They jump out at you or type of thing. That'd be the crazy part about it. Because Deadspace does as well again, where it's like a linear experience, but after a certain amount of time, you know what you expect in certain areas after you clear them out. And then there's like that long walking time going back and forth where you don't see no actual necromorphs. You know what I'm saying? You don't see much.
Yeah.
So that's where it's like, it is possible though. You can blend it, but I hear you though.
And speaking of which, I was going to say, to add to that, we had additional rumors, of course, the other week, of the return of Silent Hill with a few apparent leaks of screenshots from a developed game. Or a prior developed
It's
game.
not from Blue Box. Let's get that straight.
Yes. Thank God.
Or is it?
Yeah, let's
if it is from Blue Box Game Studio, that would be like the biggest punch in the gut of mine. This is big because
it's definitely not from them. I'm just messing.
But if it was like that was like the ultimate Uno reverse card, let's say Kojima was in on it. Let me tell you something. That'd be like the weirdest PR spin, like heel turn I've ever seen, because the way they've handled marketing for that game or whatever the hell this is has been trash. Absolute garbage. It's
I mean, the one and only
I still can't believe there's people convinced that it's a Kojima game.
Oh no, I know. I was going to say the one and only thing I would say about Silent Hills is that, or Silent Hill, whatever it is that ends up, if it does end up coming out, if the leaks are true and there is an actual Silent Hill in development, and let's hope it is. Let's face it, because PT, the playable trailer that came out, that was out for a bit on PlayStation 4, was phenomenal.
Absolutely. I think I got like $50 extra when I sold my PS4 because it still had that game installed. So
yeah, it's
like
such a phenomenal experience. Phenomenal experience, and it's even now if you go back and watch PT as a full playthrough without commentary on YouTube, it is so well done in terms of how to creep you out, how to make you potentially jump, and just the way the story plays out and how weird things turn out and how everything shifts, and on every lap around the house it changes and things aren't in the same place, and it's creepy noises and creaking around the house, and things just start to get odd. And if Silent Hill does come out and it's anything like that, that is also another bonus to horrors, and we know what Kojima's like with creating things like that, and we know, of course, that he's obviously going to get his favourite man involved, of course, that he's pretty much working on in every game he's ever making now.
Norman Reedus?
Yep, Norman Reedus. I mean, what... Oh.
What in God's name was up?
Yes. Louis, welcome.
What's
Welcome,
up?
brother.
I think that was Louis' fanfare into the podcast.
Hey guys, what's up, man? How are
What's
you guys
up?
doing today? Everything good, everything good. Hopping on right now. Got in late, but hopping on now.
Definitely.
What's up, Louis?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good.
Good
Fabulous
stuff.
here. Just
Good stuff. What's your thoughts on both Deadspace and Callisto Protocol? What do you want to see from Callisto Protocol to make it stand out from Deadspace?
I want it to be like type The Thing way. You know, I want it to be like The Thing. Have you ever seen the movie The Thing?
Yes. Yeah.
I want it to be just like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be crazy.
That'd be crazy. If it's like that, it would be awesome. Like the alien just gets into people, and people changes their forms, and the dogs,
Hey
animals.
Lou, imagine that in VR, dude.
Oh Lord, no.
Yeah, imagine that in VR. You're just walking around, and then the dude just transforms. You die, and it's like, oh god.
No. I mean, if you see me play on Twitch Resident Evil, you notice that I'm a guy that gets a lot of jump scares. I mean, I jump a lot from the seat. I'm like,
Your heart
whoa.
will fall out if they
Oh
transform
yeah.
on you.
Oh man, VR, a monster like that coming at you? No way. No way.
I was
But
going.
yeah, I want it.
I was going to say
exactly
that
like The
element,
Thing.
the thing element as well, would be absolutely awesome to see in terms of not knowing who's going to transform or who's being infected.
Right. You just run into stragglers. You thinking they're fine, and then all of a sudden they turn on you.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Because again, the way Deadspace was made, it was fantastic. It was pretty cool. But I want to see something like that, like The Thing. You know, you don't know who it is, and all of a sudden, boom, just comes out, and you're like, you run out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That would be
Then it
awesome.
turns to a trust game. Who do you trust? You know what I mean? Who do you give resources to? Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That would make a cool multiplayer game.
It would be like
Thing
Among Us,
multiplayer
but The
game.
Thing.
Yeah, like Among Us
Yeah.
Among Us kind of, if you think about it, has the whole concept.
Yeah.
Because they got the VR element going down with that game too. But imagine that on a broader scale.
Yeah.
That would have been a multiplayer game to really go for. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely awesome. We originally touched on it earlier though, in terms of what we're expecting from showcases, etc. Before, mainly because of course we've heard from Jeff Keighley saying that not to expect third parties. What we expect to see in these showcases because third parties are dropping off. I'm going to go to Mick on this one because I know Mick, you hate the horrors, so naturally stayed out of that conversation.
Yeah, I avoided that one.
What do you expect to see
I
from
brought up
third
movies
parties?
to include you. You still didn't want to get in. Yeah, that's crazy.
What do you expect to see from, or what third party titles do you expect to see where across showcase season? What do you think Xbox is going to get to showcase?
I think we are going to see. I think we are going to see most stuff coming out on, like I say, on Jeff Keighley's show is probably going to get quite a lot of the stuff that we would have seen on other showcases. Be it that there aren't going to be as many this year. The COVID thing has definitely affected development, and I think somebody, it might have been Boxy or somebody said before that it's because the E3 thing's not happening. It's easier for them to just say, well, let's just give it another year. We're struggling as well.
Yeah.
Let's just, what little we've got, let's put that in with somebody else and worry about something of our own maybe next year. So I think we're gonna get a lot of stuff via Jeff Keighley, as much as that displeases me because I have no interest in his show particularly.
But it's an IMAX.
I'll watch the catch up the next day, with that. I just can't be doing with all the adverts, and I know there will be. So yeah. And then the rest of it I think will come. I would imagine we'll probably get a Sony show of some description. There'll be a state of play somewhere along the lines soon. And obviously we're getting the Xbox Bethesda show. I don't know how many more we'll get than that. But I think a lot of third parties will probably just do most of their shows using the bigger companies like Sony, PlayStation, Xbox, and Jeff Keighley's shows.
I'm going to throw a cat in the hat here. Do you think this year could be the year that Xbox eventually unveil Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to Xbox in their showcase?
I don't think so.
No, I think, yeah, there's something weird happening with that one, isn't there?
Yeah.
And we're not. That game should have come by now if it was going to come. It could come. I mean, we've had a lot of Final Fantasy games come into the Gamepass program, so I wouldn't say it's outside of the realm of possibility still. I know there was a lot of rumors about Sony possibly extending the exclusivity once they added the DLC to it. So there's a chance maybe they extended it for another year. But the question then is, if they put more DLC in, does that mean they're going to extend it again? And will it then be 3 years?
Yeah.
You know, there's a point where you've got to just say, I'm either going to go out and buy a PS5 to play it, or I'm not interested.
Yeah.
So
or PC.
Yeah.
I saw that, Dutch.
But it's apparently one of the worst PC ports ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which one? The Final Fantasy remake? Really? That bad?
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Nah.
That's the least of your problems on PC. You got to update every year.
Yeah.
That's also true.
You got to buy a 3090 right now, Dutch. Sorry, Dub.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, the 40 series.
40, I know. Jesus, I've only just got the 30 series.
No, it's going to be a pain to get those, too. What's the
Yeah,
pricing?
yeah.
I don't even know. They were talking about for those.
Too right. But yeah, Louis, what do you expect as well? What do you expect to see? Who from where? If third parties aren't participating in their own shows and they're only going to Jeff Keighley, PlayStation and Xbox this year to showcase their games, where do you think the third party games are going to showcase them? What games specifically in each show?
I think they will show up on. I think a lot of them will be showed up on the Jeff Keighley thing. I think it will be there, and I think Xbox could show a lot of them that are probably going to jump on Game Pass this year. Probably, I hope so. They do that. And what do I imagine that they may show? That's a good question. Third party games, because I mean,
as long as Monkey Islands comes, Dutch.
Yes.
Yeah. That.
Yeah, it's scheduled for this year. Let's see if that's true.
That's actually a good question, because really I have not thought about that.
If that comes to Game Pass day one, I will be over the moon.
Man.
Yeah,
it's not outside the realms of possibility either, though. It is not.
No.
I mean, we know God the Nice is going to be shown, right? I think God the Nice is going to be shown. We probably get more gameplay of Suicide Squad. We probably get some more stuff on Stalker 2. What else are we going to see more?
Speaking of Stalker 2, actually, the good news that's come out of that studio, of course, is they have restarted development.
This scary game. What else? This scary game. Project Mara, isn't it?
Mara.
Project Mara?
Oh God, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to show a little bit Project Mara.
I don't think we will see that game, honestly, this year.
Do you not think an update on it?
Yeah. Project Mara is coming
trailer.
after Hellblade 2,
Yeah.
and they will show Hellblade or nothing, but not Project Mara.
I mean, it's possible you'll see a lot of CGI trailers, though, to compensate for anything that's not it's not going to drop.
Yeah.
I hope they do show Wolfenstein, like Boxenberger says it. That's the way it's pronounced, right? Wolfenstein?
No. Everyone gets the Stein right.
Wolfenstein.
It's a wolf. It's not wolf. It's Wolf.
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 And more of a V than a W. Wolfenstein.
Wolf? Oh.
Yeah, that was good. Big Cloud got it.
Nice.
Wolfenstein.
But yeah, I agree with you, Louis, as well. I definitely want to see the new Wolfenstein. I definitely want to see that.
Very good. Very good. I tried to teach him that for 2 years now, and he's still not got it. So good job.
I'm not even going to try and say it. I'll just end up butchering it.
Like say on, like you say on, so it's Wolfenstein.
You know what? I'm also. I got one game I really hope they're gonna show, and I'm crossing my fingers. At least a teaser. I want to see the Mando game that everybody keeps talking about rumors. I want to see that Mandalorian game if it's real. Please.
I think if
Please.
that is a real thing and it does
as much as I
happen,
love Star Wars, I don't want to get my hopes up for a bad yeah, I don't want to get my hopes up. Listen, I mean, listen, it's a great time. I'll say this: it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. You got Kenobi dropping in 2 days?
Oh yeah,
You got KOTOR remake, which by the way, Microsoft turned down KOTOR, which blew me away. I don't know how they even thought about that.
I was going to say on that specific. Well, KOTOR is a bit of a strange one. I was going to say if we talk about going back to Spider-Man, I
superheroes as well.
That.
Yeah,
I understand that.
That's a non-story.
I don't either on the superhero thing. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the market has changed towards superheroes. Like that's like the biggest box office draw right now.
It is
you know
now.
Yeah, but at the point in time, Xbox had no options.
It didn't really have many
like
studios to handle anything.
and only 3 of them were actually available in that sense, because the other one was Mojang with Minecraft. Of course, that doesn't count.
Yeah,
and so they had like 3 for 3. They had Turn 10, and they had the Coalition, and that's it. That were the 3 studios that could make a game like a Spider-Man, and none of them were available because they have all been working on Gears, Forza, Halo. So, yeah, I'm not surprised they turned it down because they simply hadn't the.
But here's the thing now, though.
If
Now
they
you
turned
have
it down
extra
like,
hands,
extra
studios, and it's
yeah.
like, where's I'm surprised we haven't heard no commotion, no rumors, no nothing about a superhero game of any kind from these studios. Like, if I'm Microsoft, I'm looking at Doctor Strange, I'm looking at Ant-Man, I'm looking at whatever is out here that Sony has not made.
Go green, get the Hulk.
Looking to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, I'll probably avoid She-Hulk if I was Microsoft.
I would talk to Marvel. I would talk honestly, I would talk to Marvel and ask them, what is the big superhero in Phase 5? Yeah, that is coming or starting at the end of 20.
Fantastic Four. Can we just go off of that?
I'd love to see a Blade game. I'd love to see a Punisher game.
Punisher would be
Punisher is not big enough.
Yeah, you have to have Max Payne. Go like a Max Payne themed Punisher game for him.
I would love to.
I would love that, but it's on a global scale. That the thing about superheroes is that it attracts the casuals. Yeah, and you can't have that superhero. I hear people talk about a Spawn game. Yeah, that'd be cool, but who knows Spawn? Nobody in the casual.
How dare you? I know Spawn.
I know Spawn. You know Spawn.
Time out.
You're a nerd. You don't count.
Hold on. You know what's funny? You said who knows Spawn? Look at Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat is a prime example that should put that to rest immediately because Spawn sold the hell out of that DLC by itself when it was revealed and when we saw Malboja. But okay, if we weren't going to use him, I would say Fantastic Four would be on the list. Daredevil would definitely be on the list.
Daredevil would love to see that.
Daredevil.
I would get a Daredevil game. First, then Fantastic Four.
Instead of waiting for Sony to do this, right?
Get
Captain America on the Xbox.
Yeah,
that's another.
Yeah,
get Captain America.
Captain America.
Actually good Thor
Iron Man.
That
Iron Man.
Iron Man is one of those characters. Yeah, you know the funny thing is about Iron Man. Sony could have made an Iron Man game on the scale of Spider-Man, but they opted to do VR because I guess they want to build towards stuff like this. You know, build that trust. But honestly, if I'm Microsoft, I'm looking at Iron Man. I'm looking at Captain America, and I'm going, you know what? How do we market the hell out of this?
You know what the only strange thing is?
Being shown off
the strange thing is, BitCloud, is they clearly have a relationship with Marvel because they continuously partner with them to do customized, one-of-a-kind Marvel consoles.
Exactly.
That they give away
Black Panther
all the time.
The DLC, or not the DLC, the DVD set for Black Panther, the Blu-ray set got a console. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Black Panther.
Yeah.
Where's the game
Black
for
Panther?
Black
Would be such a good game. It would make such a good game.
Yeah.
Dude, man, I'm saying.
So I mean, we don't know what they're working on. Maybe they have got something Marvel related, but it's so early in development that they're not interested in mentioning it yet.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
I just really, 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 really want a first-person viewed Daredevil.
Yeah.
First-person view? First-person view?
Is that a
would a first person
is that a joke?
Daredevil be something along the lines of
a black screen?
The whole game was gonna be based on sonar.
Instead of
Yeah.
first person
Audio
view of
only.
Daredevil, you can't see.
Sonar.
Everything is in red.
Unless you hear like some echolocation, he has to hit everything. You see everything. I don't know. That'd be weird. Personally, I would just do.
see
I
what you
would.
did
I would
there.
try to replicate what we got with Arkham Knight, like the Arkham style, with Daredevil, and do it on that type of scale. But then
They could
add,
have like that
development.
vision type thing where you press, I don't know, Y or something, and your screen goes red, and you can see enemies through walls making noises,
Be
all
tactical.
sorts.
There you go.
It was just a joke, by the way.
I know. It was
Pretty
a
much
good
what-
one as well.
You've been
Pretty
watching
much-
too much of that Ben
that's-
Affleck.
That's
Daredevil,
what,
sir.
that's what pretty much Batman does in the game. He turns on his detective mode and he sees everybody through walls and sounds like that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
Batman does that. Yeah.
Fanto in the chat says an X-Men
You know-
MMORPG.
I don't know about an MMORPG, but I think an X-Men game would be perfect for Xbox.
I mean, Sony's about to go right again into that realm because Wolverine opens up so many doors
Yeah.
Yep.
by itself. You know what I mean? Like because they're talking about Hulk, they're referencing Hulk in the trailer, and who's to say you won't go to the to the mansion, the Xbox, to the X-Men mansion and whatnot. So
The
it's like,
Xbox mentioned.
I was about to say X-Men.
The
You
Xbox
could do-
mansion.
X-Men mansion.
You can do. I mean, they have a lot of, like, for example, I would do a Blade game, which
Yeah.
would be a lot of fun.
Oh, I'd love to see that. Like a
I would love to see
Batman
it,
Blade
but the
game.
thing is, but here's the thing. I would love to see that, but here's the thing. They're already toning down the movie because remember it's going to be PG-13 in the new Phase 4.
Wait
Blade,
a minute.
yeah,
They're making a Blade movie.
yeah. Blade's going to
Hey.
be PG-13.
To be honest,
What?
after seeing Multiverse
hear-
of Madness, I'm not worried too much about that because I'm surprised that we got some gore in that.
But
This is Blade,
wait,
though. Blade
but this
is
is
a
Blade.
character.
I mean, they're
It's
gonna make the same mistake they did with Alien versus Predator when they put it PG-13, the first one. They're gonna make oh lord.
They're gonna do those little subtle, you know what I'm talking about, Lou, with those subtle shoots away. When it's not about to get gore, they're gonna do that type of stuff. Because again,
I know.
remember Blade
Well,
2 with
that's
the damn Reapers? I don't know if you remember
Yes.
the Reapers with the jaws open up. I don't even expect that level of detail in the future films when they start getting into that stuff.
But seriously, PG-13 Blade. I mean, I just can't see it because Blade is supposed to be violent. It's like again, it's like what they did with Alien versus Predator. They made it PG-13. The first one, it was horrible, and then the second one was.
I don't know. I'm not too worried after seeing Multiverse of Madness. I'm not too worried about Blade now.
The thing about I mean, again, but you notice how the certain tricks they did to get away with those grotesque scenes. You know what I mean? With Multiverse of Madness. Blade's a different story. Blade's nonstop chaos, carnage. So that's the
But
thing.
I'll tell you something, and this is something they should do, though. They should actually do and sit down and work a Superman game. That's what the world needs. They need a Superman game.
I feel Superman game would be such a hard game to execute.
Yes, it's a hard game to execute, but
It's hard to do in a game.
It really is hard. Like, how do you do it? Like, for example,
I mean, you have an
bullets don't hurt
invincible
him.
character. Yeah.
Exactly.
Bullets don't hurt him.
It's like
Unless you're-
seemingly
unless-
invincible. His villains would have to be magic themed because his weakness is magic,
Yeah.
and kryptonite themed, and
but
then it becomes kind of boring.
But then
They don't-
again, you could do a grounded approach where you're not flying around as much and you're playing more so as Clark Kent, his alter ego, trying to just go around the day. But
Yeah,
then that
but
takes
Who wants
the
to play as
flair.
Clark Kent?
I know what I'm saying
Exactly.
that takes the flair
Played
out of
as
the
a news
character
reporter.
when you do that.
but it's
Just
but
go
it-
around
Maybe they
writing
could do like a
stories.
gaming version where he actually works in a gaming magazine and he has to write like proper facts.
Yeah, and his name is Jason Schreier.
Games.
Oh,
Day in the
no.
life.
But here's the thing, though. They actually did. I mean, look at the Injustice games. I mean, the Injustice games, you got these guys drinking like a super pill or something to face him because since he's the bad guy, they had to work like
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah. They,
Yeah,
they, don't,
they
they
can do
didn't.
it like
They
that.
probably didn't read the comic. I know you're talking about Lou, with the super pill to
the super
fight
pill,
him. Yeah.
to fight him. Yeah.
That's what I'm mad about. I'm mad we just don't have a full blown Injustice game in general, where it's not like a fighting game, where it's just more so of that Arkham style. You know what I mean? Where you're fighting Superman. That'd have been better. Or you playing as Superman, you're a dictator at this point, and you're fighting the Justice League, or you're crumbling the Justice League. I would take something
Because
over the top like that.
Here's the question though for you guys. We're getting Suicide Squad. In Suicide Squad, one of the enemies is going to be Superman.
Yeah.
How is the Suicide Squad gonna get around to that? You know,
It's obviously going to be Kryptonite or something like that.
or something. Yes, it's gonna be something. You know,
It's
yeah.
the-
That
the
or
obvious
or
card.
they're going to kill everybody and just say the end and do it in comedic fashion like everybody.
They're
died
gonna
trying to
kill Superman with a kryptonite bullet. Deadshot's gonna be the one that snipes him.
That's how you think. Yeah, it could happen. It could happen. But like I said, you know, that's something they should do. That would be a wonderful project if they actually do make it. They make it a good Superman game.
I'm saying,
I
like,
would love to see a Superman
yeah.
game.
Imagine
Right.
Metallo, Lou, if Metallo was
Oh,
introduced,
yeah.
or Bizarro. I mean, there's a lot of characters.
Bizarro, what's Dark Seed? Oh man,
Darkseid, yeah.
Oh yeah, man. That would be an awesome battle.
I think
Ooh.
maybe the only way a Superman game would work if he was more like space-based than Earth-based in the game.
Yeah, it can't be early on, that's for sure. This can't be like early on where him just, you know what I mean, getting established. This would have to be years afterwards. So Darkseid would have to be invading, or you know,
Brainiac.
Luther.
Brainiac,
yeah,
yep.
yeah,
Brainiac's a good
Brainiac
shout.
would be, would have to be, it would have to be something of that nature, those lines.
Yeah, but that's what the world needs. They need a good Superman game because we already got a Batman game, and now we're getting Gotham Knights pretty soon.
I want to see a Green Lantern game or a Green Arrow game, either one of those two.
So I want to see that whole Injustice arc where Superman's fighting the entire Justice League, like not just League, but the entire the Lantern Corps, and he destroys the Lantern Corps. It's like, you know, I want to see that. Like that's
Dream
so much
territory.
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just
Dream
mad. I'm mad, dude. I'm mad. I'm mad. We don't get it, man. I'm mad because you got a lot of cool stuff. Like a lot of people were talking about, ironically, Power Rangers when that Shattered Grid game dropped.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know that there was a dark comic for that.
Yep, I've read some of it. Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's really damn good. That could have.
I've read the first two volumes. I really enjoyed that.
I read all of it, dude.
I need to catch up with that.
Oh man, wait till you see what Tommy becomes. He becomes a god.
I'll give you another one. Let's say they go Japanese style. Let's say Guyver. If you guys ever heard of Guyver, make a game of Guyver. That would be a pretty good game.
Yeah.
See, I think a Power Rangers game could work. Like I don't know, maybe it's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and you get to create your own Ranger or something, and then you build your Ranger squad out or something like that. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, just need the right team behind it. The thing is, nobody
Possibilities.
respects the license, like, you know what I mean, like that. It feels like for it, so it's like you don't see it, which is again, what can you do, man? It sucks.
Yeah.
You don't see that.
But yeah, superhero games. Yeah, totally agree. Right now, they're going up high, and people love superhero movies and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, again, Superman for me all the way. And Blade game, yes, bring a Blade game. Daredevil game too. I was gonna say one more, but I forgot. And yeah, of course, Punisher, Spawn too. But Boxenberg said nobody knows Spawn. But yeah,
Not much of a superhero, but I'd love to see a Judge Dredd game again.
Oh, Dredd. Oh man,
Judge Dredd,
awesome.
Dredd versus Death was such a good game. Such a good game.
You know what game?
Yeah.
You know what game they're making? Nobody talks about a lot. There's a RoboCop game coming soon. I don't know if it's gonna be good though.
Fingers crossed.
Listen, I love RoboCop, but I don't have my hopes up high for the RoboCop. I'm sorry, because in order for it to be RoboCop, like I would want it to be shot for shot like the first original film, Lou. You know what I mean? I would want it to legit be like on that tone.
Yeah.
Where
what team is making that game?
Where the world, pretty much the world sucks. You know what I mean? The world sucks. In that
it would have to be RoboCop. The world would have to suck, and everyone's bad.
Yeah.
Well, RoboCop Rogue City, right?
Imagine
City,
Kane.
yeah.
Wasn't that his name? Kane, the dude from Part 2 becomes RoboCop 2.
Kane.
Yeah.
Imagine him. Yeah. Again, I would take that style of RoboCop, but again,
The guys who are making it are named Taeyong.
yeah, I
They're
think
published by Nacon.
I'll take their
Oh,
style
Nacon.
with a grain of
Okay,
salt.
that could be all right.
I never heard of these guys.
We'll see.
Too much hope for that one.
They made Terminator.
Maybe it ends up being good. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Sleeper hits, yeah, it's possible. I mean,
It's definitely possible. Definitely possible. Mick,
like,
I
I'm
wanted to
surprised
ask
we haven't
you.
gotten a Ghostface game at this point with all the damn Friday the 13th.
Well, we're getting
games
a
and stuff like that.
4v1 asymmetrical Ghostbusters game, right?
But we already got
We
a
haven't-
You already got it.
That's a
Ghostbusters
bad
game.
idea to start.
No, I'm
only
talking
one
about like it's a
Ghostbusters game.
multiplayer game. It's 4 people versus 1. One obviously is the ghost.
Oh yeah,
It's going to be a little bit like how the Evil Dead game is that just recently came out.
That's a
So
good
nothing
game.
like Evolve,
that,
then.
that Evil Dead game is so much fun. Oh
I'm
man,
surprised,
I'm enjoying
surprised by how well it's doing.
I'm enjoying it.
it. It's awesome. It's fantastic.
It's addicting.
Yes, it is.
If only Ilfonda
Yes,
could
it
get
is.
that right with damn Friday the 13th. See what I'm saying? Like, it's possible. Now I have hope for Ghostface.
For wait, what was it? Wait, Ghostface? You mean you're talking about Scream game,
Yes.
video game? Nah,
Yeah, now I'm hopes up for that. Yeah, that would work. That would work.
I think that could
Nah.
work.
Nah, give me 2 killers.
Yeah, but you know the Screen dude is not. It's not that like a tough guy. It's always a two killer person, and they're not really that tough. I mean, you smash him in the head, you just run. That's it, and then the other one comes around or something. But it's not that tough.
It'd be like you know what I would do? Because again, the thing about
Yeah.
Ghostface and that whole Scream movies is tension. You know what I mean? So you don't know where he's at.
Did anyone see the Scream TV series they tried to do?
No, I didn't even bother trying to
No.
watch it.
It was
I've
bloody
seen-
awful.
I saw the
Nah, I've never
mock
seen
up. I saw the mock up soup where it was like you know like the mask was all different. I'm like,
It
what
was
the hell
awful.
is this? And then they're like, oh, we're bringing the iconic one back. I'm like, as if I care. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, you lost me at that point. It was
You
such a
killed
bad
it.
show. Like it died after not even season 2, right? It got cancelled.
Yeah.
Did y'all see
Yeah,
Scream?
cancel.
Y'all saw the new Scream?
Yeah,
I have
that's
not
also
yet.
terrible.
I do want to watch
It's
it.
good. It's good. It's good. It's good. At
It
least
was
it's
good. It was good, but
was good.
until the ending happened, I was sitting there going, you know what? I would have loved a certain reference, Lou. Kind of like Hills Have Eyes, and you see binoculars, you know. type
Yeah.
of thing. I would have taken that as an ending to that, but
No.
there was no big
Uh,
reveal. There wasn't no big reveal in my honest opinion in that film. I was expecting a certain character, but
Mick, I wanted to ask you as well. With
Go for it.
we know Sea of Thieves is going to be at the show. We know they're going to show off a
Yeah.
new one. But
Yeah.
and outside of Monkey Island collaborations, which I know is top of the list, is what we want.
I thought you like Skull and Bones. No,
That game can get in the bin.
What collaboration would you like to see in Sea of Thieves?
Ooh, a collaboration.
Ideal.
In Sea of
If they were to
Thieves,
show off
and I'm
like
not
your
allowed
dream
to choose,
collaboration at the showcase,
and I'm not allowed to choose Monkey Island.
not outside of Monkey
man.
Island. So, for instance, you're getting Monkey Island. Think of it that way. You're
Okay.
already getting that.
All right. Okay. All right. I can live with that. Okay. Ooh.
But could we get collaboration for Sea of Thieves? I mean, we can get there was a TV series about pirates when I was little. Forgot the name of that show.
It was called Black Flag.
Nah, I wasn't called Black Flag.
That was
Pirates or
one that
something.
was. Yeah.
They
that was
can
one
make a
that-
collaboration with that Ubisoft Skull and Bone games. game.
Save them the
Well,
time.
just to take pity on it.
Yeah.
I think they're probably just sitting there laughing at that game right
Oh,
now.
there you go. Pirates of the Dark Water. There you go. If you guys
okay.
seen that, that could be.
I've heard of that. I've not seen it.
You're not seeing it? Okay.
But yeah.
What else? What else?
Go for
One
it, Mick.
Piece too.
Ideal one.
One Piece.
Ideal one, Mick. What would you choose if you could out of anything?
All right. Okay. So I wouldn't. We haven't got the game yet, but Fable and Sea of Thieves is in a kind of similar sort of time, sort of similar time frame sort of era. So something with Fable crossing over with Sea of Thieves would be quite cool. But we haven't got Fable yet, so that's a bit of a stretch.
And then you open like the Xbox multiverse where they bring Master Chief into Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Fable, if you remember, Fable 2 had a Master Chief outfit on the Legendary Edition. And it was like a stitched leather version of Master Chief.
Yeah.
That would
If you're
be
not
cool.
sure- Yeah, it was. It was in Fable 2. And yeah, that would fit, amazingly. And I hope they bring that back in the next Fable. But yeah.
I kind of expect to see Peter Pan or Captain Hook.
Yeah,
that was
that's
pretty cool. Yeah.
That's something that's been spoken about quite a few times. It's I'm not really. No, I liked the Robin Williams
Yes.
Hook film.
Yeah.
Brilliant
But
film.
The older versions are not really something I ever really bothered with.
Yeah.
Treasure Island, I suppose, which is what it was based on.
Yeah.
You can. How about Aquaman? Aquaman can come out of there. I mean, I think no.
With
If
all
we
this
get a
Amber
chance
Heard
to
thing,
get
I
rid of a
wouldn't do
certain
it.
person, then maybe.
We could,
Yeah,
we
true.
could,
That's the
I
reason
mean.
why I'm not watching part 2 is because of that certain person. I'm just like,
Yep.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not going to go see the
Oh,
Flash either. Not with
I can't
the way
support
Ezra
it.
Miller has been acting.
Yeah.
Oh dear Lord, are we talking about you know who the one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a rabbit hole? Holy Lord, this woman. When you got random Twitter accounts buying makeup kits showing off the same bruises in the same way you did, I'm like,
Oh
hey.
dear Lord, no. Let's not get into that
Lord.
because if we get into that, the show's just gonna be.
No, we'll avoid that. It's a gaming podcast.
Yes, let's avoid that.
Bad situation.
But
But
yeah,
apparently-
so Mick, would you say then,
You know,
is Fable the
can
ultimate
I-
crossover for you then, or would it be?
If I'm getting
agree
Monkey Islands,
Yeah.
then yeah, let's go with Fable. That'd be a nice. But not quite nice to see the two worlds if they met somewhere.
Yes.
So like Fable was on the
I was
outside.
gonna say, I
world, and
remember-
Sea
I
of Thieves was
remember-
on the.
I remember in Fable, I don't know whether that was 2 or 3 with the port. You had the large kind of castle area, and at the bottom you had kind of the kind of shipyardy section. Which one was that?
Yeah,
It was Fable 3.
that
Yeah.
was 3. Yeah, and that was can't remember the name of the town now. But yeah, I know what you mean. That was Fable 3.
And I would. That's another thing in Sea of Thieves that I'd like to see is in Pirates of the Caribbean. You've got more the likes of Tortuga and things like that, where you've got these actual large kind of more built ups. I wouldn't say cities, but large areas with far more
Yeah,
buildings
ports.
and ports. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think something
So-
like that would have been awesome to add on.
There has been, I mean, in the past with Sea of Thieves, there has been talk of ports, and the response given was outposts were deliberately called outposts because they're not ports yet.
Right.
So
But
that's what
I was going to say. They'd
that's-
have
so
to make
it-
a significant increase in its size to be a port.
yes. So basically, a port is not just an outpost; is just a small collection somewhere where people stop.
Yeah.
But a port is a big area where lots of people stop. So yeah, then they did say they were deliberately called outposts because at this point they are not ports.
Right.
At this point. So it's something I think that eventually they will work towards, but I think realistically, I still think we're a bit. I think what's happening in the game now is probably working towards that,
Yeah.
but I still think we're probably a way off that yet.
Because I
But it
think
would be cool to get people have asked for Tortuga since the
Yeah.
game started. You know what I mean?
Because I was going to say that the good, and the thing I liked about the Pirates of the Caribbean DLC or / adventure that you've got in the game there is the second mission, is it? Where you go to the port, or at least you're in the port and that town, and you're fighting through the town, and you've got the spawn
Yes.
of the ghost pirates, and then you've got
Yeah.
the underground sections and bits you've got to
that's
open.
Port Royal.
Yes, Port Royal. Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's the type
Yeah.
of stuff I want to see a little bit more of through there. And of course, then you've got things where you can essentially actual places where you can go and buy kind of equipment or weapons or clothing and get drunk in big bars. And there's more. And again, it's more of a safe haven, so lots of people can go and gather there and jump around and be silly and not get shot, not die.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that holds it back is they're not sure whether they want you to have a safe haven.
Yeah.
Or
where you could just die anyway.
So when do you
I mean,
think the
even in
Scooby-Doo
the-
Pirates themed Sea of Thieves is coming?
Also, a good Moby Dick story. They should add that
Oh,
too.
Moby Dick's
Yeah,
a
that'd be
good
a good one.
Yeah, that would be pretty
Yeah.
good. They need
Yeah.
to add that because
So
I'm
that-
waiting for that.
Yeah, that's a brilliant one, and that's the sort of thing that I think Sea of Thieves
Mhm.
would have. I think you said an Aquaman one before that.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen.
No,
Not in the Sea of Thieves. But Moby Dick is an
Yeah.
original sort of like story, isn't it? Based on events that sort of happened,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's something that definitely could happen.
You can probably make for a good Francis Drake story, which was it was a really famous pirate back in the day. Who else? I mean,
Captain
you can
Cook?
do a lot of things, but
There's a lot of crazy pirate stories. There's a whole podcast that's been running for years. I forget what it's called now, but it talks about just events that have happened that are literally written down in books as far as they know, are factually correct without too much proof to prove it, obviously, because there wasn't a lot of that back then. But some of the stories that are collaborated in other books as well, some of them are mental.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that they did, you just think that's incredible. Some of the talent some of these pirates had and ideas they had was just brilliant. And some of those stories would be great to see in the Sea of Thieves.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. I think we're pretty much wrapping it up there. It's been another awesome show. We've got a lot of awesome people to get some outros for, and we've got some awesome some awesome things coming up over the next couple of weeks. Before we do, though, go on.
I was gonna ask one thing. Do you guys think
Yes.
that this June 12th we're gonna see actual gameplay footage of the new Halo, add-on or something? New Halo content?
I think there'll be some Halo. There'll be something from
Something Halo.
Yeah, there's got to be something Halo because
there'll be something.
Since the co-op mode is gonna come, do you think they're gonna add? They're waiting for that to add that new content in there, like they're gonna make a story to it for the co-op.
Well,
mode?
they did. I did lock down the title Halo: The Endless, so maybe we see a teaser trailer for that.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. All right.
Which is, I think, expected to be a DLC add-on.
Yeah, I don't think we see any story-related content, honestly. We will probably see what's the multiplayer?
I know what you're talking about. Now
add-on.
I've forgotten it. I know what you're talking about.
I'm
Battle
blanking
Royale.
on the name. The Battle Royale kind of thing from. Damn it, I'm blanking on it. But you guys know what I mean.
Yes.
And we will see that, but we won't see any story content. I doubt that, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope they do, because since they're gonna make co-op, I hope they add a story to why it's gonna be co-op. Not make it just co-op right now and just do the whole story again. Add another story on why it's gonna be co-op. Like other Master Chiefs join them, and like the TV series. I hope. Let's cross our fingers. I hope that happens.
I think maybe we'll see a trailer for the story DLC they have in the works, but there'll be no official release date for that.
I think we're going into the realms of our prediction here.
Yeah.
We should hold out on this.
We're holding out on that till for us the morning of the show, for Boxy the day before.
Oh yeah, indeed.
Yeah, it's we'll get to our outros now. Like you say, we've got some awesome people to get through here, and we've got awesome stuff coming up. But an announcement from myself in terms of the Community Indie Showcase happening next year. So of course this year we managed to get to a massive 10,000 plus views. It's still going, which has been absolutely awesome. Almost 7,000 watch hours alone on that as well. Average view time is well above 20% now, which is awesome to see, which means out of a 3.5 hour show, almost 4 hour show, people are sticking around for a very good chunk of the first section of it, and it is a long show. But that leads me into my next point. The next year, things are going to be a little bit differently, and you're going to get more. So on this occasion next year, we're going to do 2 Community Indie Showcases. So you will get a Community Indie Showcase in April, but you'll also get a second part in September.
Awesome.
The shows themselves are probably going to be sub 2 hours, each one of them. And we will have probably the same amount of creators, 10 to 12, but they'll be segmented over the 2 shows. We will also, of course, have developers' input. We will have a lot of giveaways. and we will have some brand new reveals. I know that because I'm already speaking to developers that are getting involved for next year. So we will have some brand new stuff. It will be split over 2 sections, so 2 awesome showcases next year, not just one. One of the critical parts of the feedback there was, of course, the show was great. Everybody loved it, but 4 hours is stretched into the realms of just a little bit too long.
Yeah, you gotta condense it now.
So condense them and give them some awesome stuff. It also allows us to get some reveals that might not have been ready early on in the year to showcase later on in the year. So it's
You
gonna
ever think about
open up
making a
some
week
doors.
for it though? Like you would see for Summer Games Fest. You ever think about doing something like that?
What's that? Sorry.
Where it's like, like Summer Games Fest has more than just one particular live show. It's like multiple live shows for it. You
Yeah.
ever think about doing something like that for it, like a 2-day event, 3-day event?
It's a possibility.
For-
What I think I'm potentially looking at trying to do next year as well is the showcase will happen on the weekend of each section. But I'll also be trying to get a lot of additional content that goes alongside it. So it's, as well as the showcase, we'll have some more discussions with the developers that are showcasing some new games.
I get you. It's like a steady stream build up.
Yeah. So you'll have, essentially, the showcase will happen, and it'll be right after the show. We're going to have, the next day we'll have the developer interview for this game. You saw their brand new trailer. We're going to discuss more about that game, etc., and have some reveals like that throughout the week following. So there's going to be a steady stream of content with the developers talking about their games and how to develop their games and what they've got planned for it, etc. So big plans, but it does mean everyone's going to get more. There's going to be 2 awesome shows next year, and we're going to get some more awesome creators from the community involved, and obviously some awesome personalities from the industry as well that will jump in. See if we can top Aaron Greenberg. See if we can get some more big dogs in. I don't know if PlayStation will be fair game to try and jump in next year, but we'll see what we can work out. I don't think Yoshi's going to be within my realms of trying to get him on because he's in charge of the indie section over at PlayStation, but you never know. You never know. Stranger things have happened. But yes, so that is the big announcement from me for next year. I hope, of course, everyone enjoyed it. If you haven't already seen the showcase, it is on the channel, ready for people to watch whenever they can, whenever they've got a spare few hours. But let's get to the rest of the panel. First of all, in no particular order, Crazy Louie, our last man to jump in. But of course, you've got your show later on this evening, and of course, you've got an announcement yourselves to make, which the people will have to tune in to watch. But let people know where they can find it and what time you're on.
All right. Let me start off real quick. Where you guys can find me at Twitter at Crazy Louie Gaming, where I do a lot of crazy stuff, promos, and dance a lot, guys. You guys can follow me over there. Also, on Tuesdays in Sourblog Gaming's YouTube channel, we do gaming lobby for the Latin community. Así que latinos, si son parte de la comunidad latina, denle para allá. Suscríbase al canal de Sourblog Gaming. Así que ya saben. And also, today, Crazy Louie Gaming YouTube channel, Xbox International tonight at 7 p.m. ET. Oh, man, we got a big announcement. I mean, I cannot wait till tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun. Oh, man, it's going to be awesome.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, brother, and thank you for joining us again this week.
Oh, you're welcome.
Awesome.
Always happy to hop on. Thank you.
Anytime. Next up, Chambellan. How are you doing today, brother? Thank you again for joining us. I know you're very tired these days, but it's awesome to hear that you are getting through a lot of games as well at the moment. So let people know where they can find you and what you're going to be playing next. What are you diving into now that you've finished Ayuden Chronicles?
You can find me on Xbox under Chambellan, and the game I will be playing next is out tomorrow, which is Sniper Elite 5.
Oh, nice. Yes, I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm looking forward to playing co-op on that as well. I've heard nothing but good things about that, actually. I've heard it's a really good game. So, awesome stuff. Are you going to be playing co-op as well, Sean? Or are you going to be going through that single player?
If there's people to play with, I'll do co-op.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. I think Boxenberger's web browser has crashed again, so we'll try and get him back in before the end of the show and get his outro going. Oh no, yep, there he goes. Yeah, we'll try to get him back in again before we go. There he is. There he is. Next up, General C. Thank you again for joining us, brother. Let people know, of course, where they can
as
find
always,
you.
whenever you need me, I'll pop in. Obviously, Sunday show with you as usual.
Yes.
You can find me on my Twitch channel where I stream multiple days throughout the week. I'm actually streaming Sniper Elite tomorrow, and I was actually gifted the code by Rebellion and the PR manager over there. So I'll be doing a stream for that tomorrow. You can find me on my Twitter as well, the _general_C, and that's the same as my Twitch name too.
Nice. Next up, BitCloud, brother. You've been on a roll recently. I know you've got some things that you probably have to rearrange going forward. But what have you got coming up? Where can people find you?
Yeah, man, just started my journey to journalism. So I'm now officially working with lordsofgaming.net. I'm a writer over there and VO producer. So shout out to COG, Iron Lords Podcast, everybody on the site. I'm part of that group. And pretty much now that we're all set, we're just going to be converting everything over there with RGT as well as podcast I host every Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Got some videos up finally because I'm able to come back to YouTube. So content's back up on the channel. You guys check me out as Big Cloud Gaming there. You can check me out on Twitter as well, Big Cloud Gaming, and of course Twitter, the whole 9 yards, all the same. Definitely got to get y'all on there because there's a lot of weird stuff that happened this week. I tell you right now, a lot.
Yeah. Next up, Xbox Mick, brother. Thank you again for joining us. Let people know what you've got coming up, where they can find you, and where they can catch your awesome streams.
Anytime, man. Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm Xbox Mick29 on all the usual places: Twitter, Xbox, YouTube, Instagram, and yeah, we'll be doing the usual Tuesday Sea of Tuesdays with yourself and Jen and Stipe. Yep. We will be hopefully try again next week, maybe, and see whether we'll see what the results of the investigation into what might have been a problem with Glitterbeard are, and then depending on that, we'll probably do something else if it's not looking good.
It's probably like something like we need to actually put glitter in our beards in real life.
So that'll be next Tuesday, and you can find me also on Sundays where I will be streaming with Sightless Combat, who is a completely blind gamer, and yeah, we managed a while back to get him up to Pirate Legend. So he's certainly one of the few, but the first that we know of, who's a blind gamer that made Pirate Legend. And we also play some Gears and some Minecraft Dungeons with him, and pretty much anything really. So yeah, nice. That's me.
Nice. I don't know, Boxenberger, are you there?
I am there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I have no idea what's going on with my camera. No idea.
I'm glad you're there, though. I'm glad you're there.
I don't know if you were typing. Was that you typing?
No, that wasn't me.
Somebody was typing up a storm.
Thank you for joining us anyway, Boxenberger. Again, once more. Awesome to be back with everybody again on the show. Obviously, we had last week off. But yes, Boxy, you've got an awesome show on tomorrow as well. I'll let people know where they can find you, and have you announced who you've got on yet, or are you going to announce it now?
Oh, yes, I have. So yeah, people can find me under Boxenberger everywhere. Like you said, I have an awesome show tomorrow. I have AZG on my show, The World of Gaming, tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. We have some fantastic topics to talk about. And then we have, of course, coming up next week and the week after, basically the E3 weeks. And I will have a couple of amazing shows in the big showcase week on June 9th. I will have a live reaction show with the Xbox International crew. Crazy Louis is going to be there. Pong Soul's going to be there. We have a couple of other guests rolling in. Then I have, of course, a live reaction show to the Xbox showcase with a crossover of the Green Pass gaming crew.
Oh, nice.
We'll have the entire podcast crew from them on to do live reaction. And the big one is probably the show on June 11th, the evening before the big Xbox showcase. I will do a big prediction show on my channel. It's gonna take probably a little bit more than 2 hours to bring in 15 different content creators. We roll them in and out. We have Chess Corden from Windows Central coming on. We have Randall Thor. We have Lord Cognito joining us. We have, of course, you, Dutch, gonna join. We have Mr. Boomstick. We have Ainsley from Season Gaming, Gas from Game On Daily. We have so many content creators. They will all join that show. It's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be awesome, and I can't wait for it. So book your calendars on June 11th at 8 p.m. Europe, 7 p.m. UK, or 2 p.m. Eastern. This is going to be one hell of a show. But yeah, thank you guys. It's been awesome, even though my camera crapped out. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it's always a blast.
Insulted Spawn. That's what happened.
That's what happened. And yeah, also thanks to the chat. The chat is always fantastic. So yeah, and I see you guys next week then.
Definitely. And yeah, to echo that, thank you again to an awesome chat. And I'm glad to see a lot of new faces, but also a lot of new faces getting really interactive with the rest of the chat as well. As we mentioned at the start of the podcast, it's an awesome community and everyone's really friendly. Everyone gets along, and the chats that we see happening kind of as we're speaking are absolutely awesome as well. So huge shout out to everybody in chat and the awesome community that we've got here. Thank you all for turning up as usual. And of course, if you do like it, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe it out. It does help a lot. And of course, if you really want to support us even further, channel memberships are there if you want to join in that. You get some awesome emojis. With each step that we go, with every additional 5, we unlock a new emoji, and we try to make it a bit fun. So the last one was in preparation for the Xbox showcase. Of course, you've got the new Xbox showcase logo there, which is in chat, as you can see. But yes, other than that, you can find us all again here every Wednesday and every Sunday. Later on this evening, of course, I'll be in chat supporting the XBI guys, but I'll also be on Mr. Boomstick's Primetime Gaming, which shifted to a Wednesday. So I will see you both on both of those. But have an awesome evening, everybody. And we will see you all again, both on Sunday and next week. Have a good night. See you later, and goodbye.
See you guys.